This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Gaz, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. It's season 2 of X&C, and I'm here with my co-host, Gaz from Game On Daily. We've got another guest that will be joining shortly. We thought we would not keep you waiting. We've got so much to talk about. Gaz, how's it been this long day for you in the UK?
It's been good. It's been interesting. Everyone thinks I'm a piece of because I dare speak my mind. Good. Hey, but it's been interesting. It's been... It's not my birthday, but yeah, thank you so much. It's been very interesting. I like your thumbnail that you picked for this.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
For those that don't frequent Twitter, it's been full-on Xbox Civil War. It's literally been very tensions are high in the space right now.
Yes. And I started the show with, I didn't have my mic, all of the gear powered on. And I said season 2. And it's like, season 2. The crappy mic. Shout out to Special Nick in the chat for letting me know that my mic wasn't on. Yeah, it's one of those days. Yeah, one of those days. I had to go on there and power everything up. But yes, thank you. This is amazing. Gaz is the new co-host, and I'm so glad to have him here. We've got another guest coming in. We got Zocker87 who's going to be rolling in. As soon as he gets done with his crazy work schedule, he'll be here any moment, and we'll get into everything. Well, there's an echo. Well, let me get that fixed, huh? Come on. This stuff's all supposed to be done before we go in. I shouldn't have an echo. I don't know why. Who knows? I don't know if I can fix that, but it has been absolutely crazy. Well, let's warm up for a minute and talk about how people have been attacking. People have been, they've been so frustrated. This all started Thursday when you and I went live. Gaz, what's going on? We went live about this delay.
I think it kind of showed that this was the straw that broke the camel's back. This community since then has been split. There have been arguments back and forth. We even had me and Jess Corden going back and forth on it. We had Fonz and Rand go back and forth on it. And everyone's like, what's going on? It's the Civil War. Because Xbox people, some of us, don't like to tolerate when things go wrong. We always are used to calling out pieces of like Zorka87, there he is. How are you doing, man?
You just call me a piece of shit. I'm trying to fix my camera still. I'm trying to get everything all situated.
I just throw him in. I'm not even ready for. Apparently, there's a little bit of a mic echo or something on my end. Who knows? Who knows how to fix this stuff?
Soup with rice. I hope you don't mind. Sorry, I haven't eaten all day.
Yeah. Go for it.
It's hot as hell. You have to share. I do have to share. I'm only going to hand feed Gaz though, like slowly. Just
Zocker, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Tell everybody how you've been. It's been a crazy weekend. How have you dealt with all the mayhem of the infighting and all the frustrating news?
I threw away my Xbox Series X out the window. I'm done. I canceled everything. I don't care. I'm going PlayStation Plus. Their new rollout today was one of the best I've ever seen. Talk about a Game Pass killer. And I'm done. No, I just honestly, guys, it's, I mean, obviously me, Gaz, Colt, everybody, Rand, Dealer, we all talk together, right? Like when something like this happens, the first thing we do is just like message each other like, hey, what's going on? And so we're talking and
call each other names.
I mean, that's just like how we say, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
But I just feel like it sucked, right? It was a moment of like, man, that really sucks because everybody, it's not even that you're an Xbox gamer. It's a gamer in general. It's a terrible thing to see when you don't like want it. Like I was looking forward to Starfield, and To be quite honest, I know people are going to hate on me, but I was really looking forward to Redfall, like highly, like as Colt, everybody. I was I wanted to play that game because I like
more than
co-op.
me for sure.
Yeah. Like that, I just enjoy those games. So it was disappointing to say the least. And then I made a video about it. I made another video on Friday kind of about it. Made a couple tweets, interacted with some people, and then I moved the hell on. That's what you do, man. That's what you got to do. And don't get me wrong, it's not a move on and forgive. It's a move on and never forget type of situation for me.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, what do you have in the roadmap? What's going on? Because like I said, you can go back on RDX multiple months. I said, if they don't have anything in 2023, I'm not going to be the easygoing fucking nice guy. Sorry for cussing on your show, but like, I'm not going to, I'm not going to be the easygoing guy. I'm going to come out and I'm going to criticize you a lot. And I'm going to ask why. I'm going to ask hard questions, and I'm going to bring it up a lot because as gamers, as Xbox gamers, I have an investment in the Series X. I have an investment on PC with you, and I have an investment everywhere with you to the point where I want to know what's going on. That's it.
Hey, and we're already kind of diving into it, like even just to say, hey, Zucker and Gaz, how you doing? We will get into it. Before we get started, we got over 500 people watching this XNC podcast. We're live on YouTube on the Colteastwood channel. Here with my co-host Gaz from Game On Daily. Also check out his content. But we're also on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. I want to give a shout out to the channel veterans and members. We just got a new member. Welcome, Carrie Daly, to the early access and channel merch giveaway of the channel membership. You also get a custom icon. You start off with Joanna Dark. Hopefully we see Joanna Dark soon. And you'll also be entered into giveaways. So welcome to the show. Welcome to welcome to the auto tune. We got a couple supers, but let me read off these names first. These people have been supporting the show for over 9 months. It's really amazing. Raiden Blade, Ricky Falon, Zenner White, Poochie, Wolf Assassin, DeBlue, Devario 2 Gaming, Fault Lines, Wreak Havoc, Fox Storytelling, Rodney Coots, Gaz, Dark CMF, Beta Max, Dante Moody, Alex Wilson, Lord Star Killer, Robert Jackson, Gamer McFly, Assassin Lupa, Nano Polymyth, Hargit Chani, TK Chillin, Larry Thatcher, Dub, V Simcoe, Suicide King, Udani Kazada, Phil, KY Bob, William Lanza, and Matt Burns. Thank you all so much for making this show possible and making it so I can keep the fan on as it starts to heat up in the Xbox community. We're really happy to be here. Shout out to my mods, Happy Bomb, Lethal Papa, and Yodani Kizada. I will fumble the words. I'm so excited. We have so much to talk about. I don't want to keep you waiting because it's been very good. I'm super happy to have Gaz and Zocker here. Let's start off by an interesting, before I get into that, let me read this from Boba Fett. Boba Fett Gaming, thank you so much for the Australian $10. So there are two types of people, those that aren't afraid to ask for better and those that are willing to convince themselves they're happy. Stop the infighting. Beautiful. Ooh. We will get into that. And Daddy Passion Official with the $2 super says, let's go. And we shall. Gene Messi says, do you think Microsoft would delay 2 games and not have anything to back up? I mean, Hellblade showed gameplay, so it must be done. Zucker and I are kind of like, Zucker and I kind of twiddling the mustache a little bit on that one, huh? We will get into that, Gene. If we don't know if Fable's finished, happy birthday, Sasha Messi. Awesome. Thank you so much for that super. And welcome, Alan Aldrete. I'm sorry, I don't want to mess up your name, but welcome to the early access.
Alan Aldrete.
I regret bringing you on already. That's great. If Facel, I haven't seen Facel in a long time. Facel 007 with a 449 pound super says for each. Am I saying that right, Gasimus? Faisal. Thank you. Oh, that's right. I remember Faisal saying it's pronounced like Hazel. I'm so sorry. I haven't seen you in a while. It took a while to blow the dust out of this old brain, but thank you. Faisal says, for each one, do you think there will be high-profile indies from global publishing to carry the rest of the year for Xbox, or is this more? Yes, we are also going to talk to that. I don't want to get too far ahead. One more before I get into the Flame says, PlayStation was so petty today with their announcement. We're almost ready to talk about that. Before we dive into Ubisoft Soccer and all of this this other stuff that they've kind of hinted toward, I got to ask you in the chat and the audience about Xbox FanFest Game Showcase in person on Friday. They drew names. I heard like 2 people that won. I want to start with Zocker. Since Zocker is very close, you know, he's a full day's drive away from LA. Zocker, what's going on with this in-person showcase. What are you thinking? What's going on with it?
I think they just want to have fans there as like a presence. I think they kind of miss that. I think that's like where they had some of their best shows. Like, I mean, last year's show was amazing. It was the best E3 I've ever seen. But I also think they want kind of feedback from people, kind of get back to that, get back to like their kind of like the grassroots of what they did. Because that's what Xbox always was. It was always FanFest. It was always talking to people. Like, they still interact with us like the executives do. Like, no other company that I know of does that, like, legitimately. So I think they truly miss that, and they want that opportunity to do that. Does it suck with what's everything going on around the world? Yeah. Especially now, and I think it's in LA, right? So in California right now, the cases and stuff, that's pretty bad. I don't know if they're gonna go back on it, man. Honestly, with everything that's happening, I don't know if they're gonna be like, you know what, guys, sorry, we don't think that's a smart idea to do it right now.
You mean you think they can still cancel it 3 or 4 weeks
100%, 100%. I really do, because it's getting worse, man. It's getting a lot worse. So I applied. Even if I got in, I wouldn't go now because of the cases, because I take care of elderly people, my grandma and so forth. So I'm just being cautious. But either way, I would think it would be cool to see everything. I know you'd be talking to executives. I'm sure they'll share stuff with us, share stuff with gamers there, and kind of make it like, hey, we haven't forgot about you. Here's what's going on. So we haven't seen you in 2 years. And then also have influencers there, like either Colt or somebody else, to be there and kind of share what's going on to celebrate everything that's happening in the gaming world of Xbox. So I'm looking forward to it. I know they probably have a good show planned. And Colt, we talked about this. They have to know that the delay is it's like a black eye for them. They have to know that. And I'm sure they thought of contingencies for the next month to be like, hey, what's going on? What can we do to kind of quell that during the show? What do you think about that? Do you agree still like about that? We talked about this before.
Yeah, well, I reached out to somebody in Xbox leadership and said, hey, I hope you're able to filter out some of the nonsense. And they said, thanks, Colt. I really appreciate that. And I've talked to Rand and Tim Dog, who talk to people all the time, right? We always hear about, I talked to so-and-so. Oh, hey, I got a message back from so-and-so.
Randall Insider.
Like, yeah, and I love it, Tim Dog. And they are really upset. And I feel like we're hearing that leadership is really, really upset that this happened. They've been put in this situation, right, guys? They had Stalker ready, and then they had games for the summer and the fall, and they were set. And then Ukraine got invaded, and they're totally jammed. And then Todd's like, "We're not ready." So well, I got to ask you guys. You live in the UK. Like, would you even? I think I've asked you already. Would you consider, flying out to LA for a sit down to watch it on a big screen and leave?
Well, to meet you guys, I've been desperate to meet you guys for like 2 years now. So that I would 100% go down if it was like we're kind of hearing about it, but it's not fully like being like committed to and not communicated. And I feel like they are on this kind of the teetering on the edge of whether or not they want to go ahead and do it. Like it's like because perhaps for the exact same reason, Zorkas, you've highlighted that this a tentative situation. I think in the States you're a little bit maybe behind in the progress of how when I went in central London this weekend, it was heaving. Forget COVID, people had forgotten about it. No masks on the train, none of that. It was heaving. We've gone past the point of return. Even if the numbers are high, they'll carry on. And numbers have been high in the UK for a while, and now people don't care. And
UK and Europe are just pushing through.
Yeah, it's more UK than a lot of European countries. I was in Rome a few weeks ago, and they were a little bit behind, and still it was kind of, oh wow, you have to wear the mask, you have to sign into the app. I don't know what the situation in the US is, but after this summer, then I think you'll finally see it realized. But it seems like Xbox execs, I think it's quite obvious, are desperate to have an in-person event to build that kind of vibe, a welcome back. And, you could see when they were so quick to celebrate them meeting finally Aaron Greenberg saying in person, the teams at Bethesda. And then goodbye, see you next year.
No, it was the XO event. Do you remember that XO event in Mexico City? I think that event really pushed forward for what they want to see. because the people were hyped. They had a great time. They announced the acquisition of Obsidian and In Exile there. They had like a really good time, and it was very like a lot of good press was coming out. And then 2019 happened, and it was meh. And then 2020 happened, and now it's like they haven't gotten back to that, right? So I think they want to get back to getting people like in front of them, getting feedback, and hopefully feedback that they'll actually freaking listen to. That's the biggest thing for me. Is like it's all good, it's all well and good if you listen and you say things, but at the end of the day, I don't want empty words from people. I want results, and I want it in my hands, and those results are games.
And that's the thing we've been saying. Results, show the results. Sorry, Uncle Phil. Like, it's good to hear that, but even Xbox fans, including myself, I haven't really been scathing of Phil Spencer because he hasn't really done anything particularly that's frustrating. The guy saved Xbox. Let's be honest. People are saying, some people in some corners, are saying, get rid of Spencer. I'm like, really? The guy saved
I'd say in
Xbox.
a lot of ways, Phil is he's saved gaming. He's pushed a lot of things out front that have been good for the industry as a whole. But as far as their first party, that's where you and I and Zocker have kind of spoke up and said, hey, this needs to be fixed. And then people have been super combative about it.
People have been conflating that I've been asking for him to leave. No, Forte. Shout out Forte, man. Yes. Yeah, people have been saying that. I think David Jaffe said it. David Jaffe said, get rid of Phil. He's just useless and blah, blah, blah. And David Jaffe, bless him, he's very animated and out there. I don't agree with that particular stance, but I will say, like, Phil, you were saying, we understand consistencies, everything. At this time, it seems like blah, blah, blah. Just show me. Show me next month. And I'll watch.
I do want to get into that's specific topic, guys. I want to talk about the blaming of leadership and where that lies. And just to give the chat a heads up, last night, for Zocker and I are both on the West Coast. Last night, Zocker and I were up till 2 a.m. in a party chat with a couple people I can't name because there was some spicy inside news that was being shared. And Zocker and I sat back with little jujubes.
I had a popcorn bowl with a little spoon. I was just eating, just wait with a spoon and just eating it, clink clink, making clink noises.
Yeah, I mean, I needed to go to bed. Like it was late, but Zocker and I were kind of hanging back, and there was a lot of talk going on. But we also talked about a lot of this, so there's some good insight coming your way. I got to grab a couple supers here. Outbreak Podcaster Web Dave says, Colt, Gaz, and Zocker, this is going to be epic. And then DCRU Seeds, thank you so much. Wow, this is amazing. One of my biggest super chats ever, a $50 super chat. He says, we had a rough week. Go buy some Mountain Dew with this glitter covered cash. Oh, jeez. Thank you so much.
Go to the strip club. Let's do it.
Let's go to Walmart and buy some flip-flops. It's going to be great. Now,
what?
Before we talk about the leadership thing.
I'll get the socks for the flip-flops.
Right. Did you know that somebody, sidebar, somebody was making fun of me for wearing flip-flops at an Xbox event, but it was the picture of me. It was the night of FanFest. The day before in the morning was the big game showcase, the big like professional thing. And then it was Monday night. Yeah, Sunday morning was showcase. And this is 2019. Monday night in the evening, my wife and I had walked all over downtown LA and checked out the convention center. And I was wearing like shorts and a shirt and sandals or flip-flops. And we went to FanFest, and I was wearing flip-flops because we were just hanging out and playing games. And somebody's like, Colt wore flip-flops to an event.
I rate that. It's like sick. Just chill, wearing your flip-flops, going. Everyone's wearing shoes or trainers and just trying to be like, and you're like, nah, man, I'm wearing my shorts and flip. Bro, I did the same thing. I did the same thing when I was.
It looks dorky. Hey, I threw those things away, but like we were out walking around. It was 100 degrees in LA. We were invited back in the evening to stand in line and play Gears 5 and Borderlands 3 and all this other stuff. Whatever.
Yeah, you've got to be comfy, man. You got to be comfy.
Yeah. Somebody's saying, does the head gun I went like this till 2 a.m. mean that the news was bad? No. I had a full work day today, so I'm going off of like 3.5 hours of. This is why I'm eating right now, because this is what happens. Podcasts start at 5. I get off at 5, so I'm grabbing dinner and I'm eating like a gorilla, and then I come on here and talk, and I'm like, and that's why I feel bad. Like I'm just chewing here, but I'm like, I need to eat, or I'm not gonna have any energy. But keep going.
That's
I'm
the
gonna
best part
I'm gonna wear
about-
toe socks. I'm gonna wear toe socks for the next D3, and I'm gonna put like the toe sock shoes. You know, the ones that like, you don't even need shoes for. Like I'm gonna walk around like that, and I'm gonna go like this to everybody, like just sprinkle my toes around. It's gonna be great.
As long as you
But all those
fine.
nights on RDX when Zocker and I were on there and there's no camera, my family would bring me a plate of food and I'd be like, you know, and you can hear a clink. You always hear the clink from one of us. But anyway, now let me grab a couple Super Zero. Ashtray Gaming, who's a good friend of ours. Thank you so much for the $8 Australian. He says, isn't anyone going to bring up Todd Howard as the game was made before Xbox acquired them? Yes, let's talk about Todd Howard and Phil in just a moment. Risk It for the Biscuit says, Colt, I mostly wear thongs, flip-flops, all G. Yeah, back in the day, we called them thongs. Now I call them flip-flops. And now I call them, I'm only going to wear them when I'm going to the pool because I don't want people making fun of me. And Dale Sanger with the Canadian $5 says, tell me that they will show something good at FanFest. I won tickets to the Toronto show. Thank you, Dale. I've heard very few people that are going to the LA one. I'm this close to going. I'm not quite sure, trying to make the decision. And then Zocker's like, maybe they'll shut it down. Yikes. Flush Jackson
I'm
with
just
the $5.
saying, I don't know. Maybe.
Who knows, right? Thank you, Flush Jackson. He says, let me correct what has been said. Jaffe said Phil needs product management help to deliver games. Nobody is saying fire Phil. That's hyperbole. Very well said. Whiny Entitled Gamer says, Gaz, if not for Phil, you would get Starfield on Xbox in 2025 after PS5 exclusivity ran out.
Well, that's
Gaz,
certainly
you hater. I saw you last Thursday. I was watching you just go in on Xbox and being super critical. I unfriended you. I blocked you.
The funny thing is, a lot of people did. We even lost some subs, and I was like, thank God for that. That's the filter working of absolute utter pieces of that I don't need in my life who cannot handle any discourse. You're the reason why Xbox in the first place. No, let me get this out of the way, and I mean this completely, and I don't give a damn if the last one standing.
Hold on, let me get comfortable.
Yeah, lie back. You lie back. Let me just be real with you. There are two camps here. One that's like, oh, it'll be fine. Kumbaya, hold me. You're so over the top. Fine. The other one is like, yo, let's just do better than this at Xbox because we've been waiting for ages. And then like 9 Lives saying you're overreacting. At 9 Lives, who was on another podcast where everyone was like, oh my God, these Xbox guys are so over the top. What are we asking for? We're asking for the same thing Phil Spencer tweets about. It says, yes, we understand that consistency is really important. He's been saying that for time, man. We've been waiting for a first-party exclusive next-gen only game for time. It's 2022. It's almost 2 years since the consoles came out. If you don't put pressure on Xbox, they won't fix up. Xbox, like Cole always says, they're always listening. These are the few people that actually listen. That's why I like Xbox. There's a two-way communication there. So you have to let them know, like, that's not good enough. And I think they'll be observing from social media. A lot of people are like, yo, they are vexed. They don't want to take anymore. I want this to be fixed. I want it to be rectified. And like Zorka says, I cannot. Well, I'm saying the jury's out till next. Remember this as well. People are like, oh, you think it's all over? No, I'm saying there's a lot of burden on them to dispel next month. Show us the games. It's going to be hard, but go for it. But in 2023, if someone even says the same thing, and we have a repeat, I don't think we'll have a repeat of this, but if it happens again, oh my God, what are you gonna excuse now?
Do you know what the only thing that's preventing me from getting even more angry, and why I was like, you know what, 2 days venting, talk to the guys in the party, talk to people on Twitter, talk to people doing my video, like, getting that put out there. I'm happy, but the only thing that prevented it was last year's E3, which was freaking fire. Like, they had an awesome show, and they brought out games like 5-6 months straight, like Back 4 Blood, Age of Empire, Forza Horizon 5, Halo, Psychonauts, you named it.
Broke records.
Yeah, they broke records, Ascent, all these other games, and plus third-party games that they announced at the show were the only reason why I'm like, you know what? You did pop off in 2021, but this year is extremely light, and I think it's the catch-up year, like kind of like the tech debt. It's the tech debt that happened because of COVID, and I get that. And nobody wants to hear that excuse, but it's there. It's a reality. Get used to it. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. But you have a massive super chat right now that you need to fucking go through.
Yeah, let me get to it. I need to read before I get to that amazing, like my eyeballs flew out the back of my head and then they flew out onto my flip-flops between my toes. But let me read this, Zocker, when you said that COVID, people were working from home. This is a tweet from a couple hours ago from Josh Sawyer, one of the lead designers of Obsidian, working on Project Pentiment. He is the architect of Fallout New Vegas. He made a tweet today about a company trying to force their employees to work in the office instead of from home. And I think it was some studio that was not mentioned. He says, I don't know how much pain the leadership teams need to endure before they understand that trading a solid, experienced dev working remotely for one that is in the office is catastrophically bad. If you restrict your hiring pool to only people who are willing to work on site, especially in places with a high cost of living, like in LA and California and Seattle.
Where I live, hey!
Yep. He says, woo, it's going to be tough. It's a rare case where the people ostensibly are charged very little leverage over what the individual employees do, and that's good, which is an entire tweet thread that one of the veterans of Obsidian Entertainment is saying that all of these people are not being required to come back to the studio. So there's a whole culture where people are continually working from home, which is adding to the length it takes to finish games. There's so much to dig in here. We've got almost 950 people watching live. Thank you so much. If you're enjoying the show, please hit the like button to show your support. We have enough here to get 500 likes as we get into the show. I know you guys will have a lot to say. Let me grab a couple supers. Wow, this is great here. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Danny Passion Official says, thank you for the 5, Danny. He says, from a producer, who's a better leader, the one who releases a broken game or the one who delays the game until it's ready to hit, no matter ready, not matter the hit that he gets. Yeah, the negative hit. This is one thing that Gaz and I talked a lot about this weekend on his show was we did not want Halo Infinite to happen to Starfield or vice versa, right? Right, Gaz? Like, you're glad that at least Starfield's not going to come out incomplete and holding back features.
Another thing that made me want to actually punch people in the face was the fact that people kept saying, oh, wait, by the way, you were so on the delay Halo train, but all of a sudden you don't want Starfield to be delayed. Do you even listen to what I said? Starfield. Let me get it out there. Let me make it clear. The delay is good for Starfield. This is not just about Starfield. It's about what Xbox is going to use to plug in and substitute the bloody glaring vacuum that Starfield has left, okay? Starfield can be delayed for another 3 years. Starfield is such a high, to me, or to the way it's been marketed, such a high caliber, really ambitious game. It's NASA punk, RPG, like Skyrim in space. When are you going to get that? When are you going to get that at this caliber? I don't even care if it waits 2 years. Just take your time, because that game has to be perfect. More than Redfall. I know, Zorka, you're a Redfall fan, and that will be a great game. But I think in terms of what the stakes are, yeah. But see what the stakes are at. Starfield, take your time. Take your time. Doesn't alleviate Xbox's role to fill in whatever glaring hole. I don't know. I'm ready to keep going into it, but yeah, perhaps you want to read all the super chats because I can go on this for
yes, I do. Hold on. I'm going to, just to make sure everything's smooth. I was on a podcast the other day where the audio was kind of off and on. Zocker, go into the settings and you can turn off the automatically adjust and bring you up 10 or 15 points. I think you might be quieter. No one's complaining.
You're making me hungry.
But we do want to make sure that you're loud enough. I think everything's coming through clear, but just, while I'm doing this, I can't do it. You can't turn off the automatic in the settings at the bottom.
I see it.
Yep, you see it. Yeah, this is a yep. And then uncheck automatic, and then you can bring it up to like 110 or 120. And I think, all right, that should be good.
How about now?
I mean, you're good. Everything's clear. I just don't want Gaz and I to blast over you. You need to get your due.
You guys overtalk. You guys talk over me, and it makes my heart hurt.
I get these goosebumps every time.
Sing
This
it,
is
boy.
an amazing super chat from DCRUC who says, here's $200. Maybe this will be the biggest donation on the show. It's absolutely the biggest. Have to jump in a party sometime and get some games in. Love the podcast, guys. Keep it up. Let me know what your Xbox Live gamer tag is. Just send me a message when you see me on and say, hey, let's chat.
If you do
Percolator
£200 on my
9,000.
show, I'll buy a stripper pole. You can do whatever you want to me.
I mean,
You've already asked me to do that, Gaz.
Sorry,
Percolator
I'm
9000
cheating.
says, hey, Colteastwood and Zocker, did you know that it's Gaz's birthday today? Have a great
Sauce.
show. Sauce. They never let you up. Hargi Chani.
birthday sex?
I hate it when I Zocker. I hate it when I see Hargi in the chat and we haven't talked today. Hargi Chani says, look, we have to contend with the reality. COVID will delay games, and Microsoft has chosen to forego crunch, which will add more time to development. Danny Passion Official, welcome to the channel membership with the Joanna Dark picture. Welcome. Your chats will be extra special. Boba Fett Gaming with another Australian 10. Thank you so much, Boba. He says, as Chief says, the mission changes. They always do. It's not about the delay. It's about compensating for the void that would have been several years, seen years in advance. Too many eggs in one basket. Okay,
Yeah.
Zocker, let's talk about this eggs in the basket. This is a conversation we had a lot this weekend with Rand and with Fonz and with Dealer and with Gaz.
All our homies.
And all the homies, right? I mean, we were not getting along. We were kind of trying to come to grips of how this all should really be. And some people were on this side, some people were on that side. Gaz is watching from the top, like his hands over the ledge going, yeah, keep going. And this whole thing about they put all their eggs in the Starfield basket and the game got delayed. Opinion me.
You know, the way I look at it is that, yes, the majority of the basket and the eggs in there was Starfield, but it was also Redfall. It was also Stalker. It was also a bunch of games that they probably haven't talked about yet, including, Forza Motorsport. But at the end of the day, you need to bring results forward. I know that all the eggs was there for like those games we just mentioned, but I don't see it as that. I see it more as what Phil keeps talking about is we need to do better, consistency. He's said that like 3 times now. Like at some point, it's like, Phil, just fucking do it. Sorry to cuss, Colt, but just do it, man. Like, just do it. Like, don't talk about it anymore. Show us at the game show. Show us what the games in our hands as we're playing them on the controller, PC, wherever the hell you are. It doesn't matter. Because if you think that Game Pass is going to grow this year, it's not. You don't have those big games coming in there unless you bring out some surprise at the end of the year that something could be out there, and maybe potentially it can for that month give you a little bit of a boost. But in order for stuff to, if Netflix didn't bring out any originals for a year, what the hell will people do? If Disney Plus didn't bring out any original Star Wars or Marvel shows for a whole year, what are people going to do? They're going to walk away.
That's a lifetime.
That's a lifetime. A year is a very long time, and I'm done saying I've never say wait till E3. I just look forward to E3 always. I'm looking forward to Jeff Keighley's show because I want to see some of the games because he's kind of taking over. Like he has like almost 2 E3s a year now. Like that's awesome. I'm glad that he's doing that. But Xbox is something that we always looked forward to. I always looked forward to a Gears or a Halo or a Forza, but I didn't always look forward to that's the only damn thing you're going to give me. So I want to see more. I want to see more from them. I know we are going to see more from them. And I understand that this is one thing that I've always said, that Redfall and Starfield are the first 2 kind of new IPs in the last 4 years or 5 years from Xbox.
Yes.
Don't mess them up. Like Redfall has the potential to be great if it's, Borderland-esque or anything like that. All I'm saying is that at this game show, you better show me gameplay of Starfield, Redfall, and the games that you were talking about. And I want game play. If you make cinematic, gameplay, give me gameplay, and I will sit there and be like, you know what? All right, I'll wait till spring. But there better be some awesome gameplay there. Todd Howard, put your jacket on like you always do. Walk out there with a swag and just show us some damn gameplay, Todd Howard. That's what I want.
Tell the audience, Soccer, what you said about Netflix growth and why you said this last night.
About how they just kept pumping out original stuff. And
about why people sub. You said it so perfectly last night.
Yeah, sorry. So one of the big things that people sub to, Netflix kind of made a study about this. It isn't the stuff that's on there. It's the potential of what's going to be on there. So while they're enjoying the stuff that's on the service, it's the potential that gets them to stay subscribed. right? So like they're like, whoa, so Stranger Things is coming in 3 months. I'm gonna stay subscribed because there's all this other stuff I could kind of watch. And then, oh well, this is coming out a little bit later after that. Oh, whoa, and then this is coming later. Like I actually pay attention to what's coming out on Netflix because I enjoy all forms of media, and I want to look forward to watching something. If a place doesn't have anything coming out, this is why they bring it out every month. They show you like this is what's coming out on this day. Boom, boom, boom. All your content, people report on it. It's good for YouTubers to get stuff out there and talk about it. That's what you need to do. Xbox is doing that. I don't know if you noticed that. Xbox is showing like, look what's coming this month. Bam, right in front of you.
Yeah.
So what's coming? What's coming at the end of this year? I get we have to wait till the game show, but I don't want to wait. I want to know what's coming. Like this month is Sniper Elite, but what's coming that's big at the end of the year where I'm sitting there going like, holy shit, I can't wait to play this.
Yeah. And I got to ask Gaz, King Excellentitis, thank you for the $2, says, Phil needs more help now with all the studios they own. I agree that firing someone is not going to fix the problem. Hiring somebody additional is probably going to be the answer. Gaz, what Zocker
Can I talk about
saying,
the project stuff later when the people are talking about product owners, project managers, all that stuff? Like as somebody that is an actual project manager, technical lead in the tech world, I don't think people understand what they do. So I want to kind of go into that. They
don't. Bit. And there is kind of gone a couple of messes with people who don't know who does what or who can't do what other leaderships do.
Or other people saying that, people can't talk about something because they don't do it when they don't even play games themselves. Like, sorry, like don't say shit.
Yeah. Gaz, Zocker touched on this. They haven't had any new IPs since Sea of Thieves, which was mid 2018. They've actually only, outside of Halo, Gears, and Forza games, they put out Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Flight Sim. Not new IPs, not new games. I might be missing something, but Gaz,
what's is that?
What's the new IPs?
Terrible list. It was about to change this year. Starfield was going to mark the change. That's why it's so important. What has happened, and people need to realize this, is Xbox's momentum is going very strong, very, very, very strong. You had the sea of acquisitions, ZeniMax, then you had ABK, and boom, 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 and then all of a sudden, stop. That's what's happened. Yeah. And look at what's happening on PlayStation now. They got PlayStation Plus, got Ubisoft Plus games coming in. Boom, today's announcement came in with their backwards compatibility. It's not PlayStation Plus's suite isn't all that great, but it's still is a starting point. They got a back catalog. They're there.
Set us up on that. Gaz, set us up on what's going on with Ubisoft Plus and on PlayStation, as much as you know, and then where you think that's going with Xbox, and then we'll take Zockers. He's our resident Ubisoft expert. What's going on with PlayStation with Ubisoft Plus, Gaz? What did they do
Ubisoft
today?
Plus, many people has been enthusing about the notion of Ubisoft Plus is joining Game Pass Ultimate. It's coming. So today was a bit of a surprise that it actually is coming to PlayStation Plus, and there's more to be announced there. And that's a big get. Like now,
it's not entirely Ubisoft Plus. It's not the entirety of it. It's a few games from Ubisoft Plus that are going there. I don't think it's the entirety,
including what's that last game?
Some classic games and
What's the last Assassin's Creed that you guys love?
Valhalla.
Yeah.
I mean, not. It doesn't have. They don't talk about Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Origins or all that. Yeah. That's what Ubisoft Plus has. Is it has every single game with every single DLC. That's not what this is at all.
Yeah.
Moving on.
But still, the addition to PlayStation Plus has got the mind share and it's got the backwards compat. And then whereas the Xbox has lost, whether you would like to admit it or not, it has, in the grand scheme of things, lost that steam. So the question is, what is it going to do to really bring that back? Because this is the first time really that Xbox has lost its momentum like this.
They were cruising for like 3 years straight. And then they were doing really well. Jeff Grubb even said it today.
And it's funny because it always boils down to this. People say exclusive don't matter that much, and look at the numbers and multiplats and all that. It's fine, but primarily we assess it through the health of their first party outfit, their showings. This is the last bastion for Xbox. First party exclusives. It's the one final thing that Xbox really needs to get right, which it will. Over time, it will. But it's quite weird and stark that we're in this situation today. You know what the funny? Wait for E3. Xbox has
Don't.
no games. Those memes have come back. They've come back, and
They're there.
They're there, and that's the point that people need to realize.
And this frustration across the Xbox community of people just kind of going at each other. I've told this to Colt. Simple solution: Xbox just bring shit out. Like that's because that's what Xbox
can't materialize. Like
I know.
What are they going to do? This is
they should anticipate.
I want to get into how they can mitigate it, but I want to figure out what's going on with, because I was shocked with the Ubisoft Plus announcement with PlayStation's name next to it, little handshake emoji. I'm like, what the crap? What the heck? Like, because
wait, what?
Wait a minute, groovy, jazzy. Yeah, I was. Wait a minute. We've heard about this Ubisoft Plus. Like, this was hinted that we'd heard from insiders, and Special Nick whispered into my ear late one night. No, I'm just kidding. We've heard about
you
Ubisoft
gotta go
Plus.
after my Greek brethren like that. Don't go after my brethren like that. Don't go after my
Zucker, what the crap? What's going on with Xbox and Ubisoft Plus? Is this?
No, I think it's more of a. I think Ubisoft's just trying to get everywhere because, newsflash, Ubisoft stock took a fucking tank. It went down hard, and even their Unity engine went down. Not a lot of people want to use it apparently because of Unreal Engine 5. So a lot of their stuff that they invested in kind of went down. Not to mention Far Cry 6 didn't sell up to snuff. Neither did Rainbow Six Extraction. Neither did Riders Republic, and neither did Dawn of the Ragnarok. None of the four things they brought out that were supposed to do anything just got demolished. So.
And we love Ubisoft.
I love, dude. I'm subscribed to Ubisoft Plus. I'm subscribed to it on PC because I can cross save across everything, my consoles, everything. So I love it. Like I love playing all their games. But at the end of the, I love it, man. I love it. But at the end of the day, they want to go to the console. They want to expand. So yeah, it wasn't just Xbox. And I always said, like, man, I thought it was I'm surprised. Because I thought it was going to take longer to get to PlayStation. Because what happened with EA Play? Do you remember that? EA Play, they were like, no, get the hell out of here. Like, that's literally what they told EA. And then finally it went on there.
They did.
And then now Ubisoft Plus, they're like, sure, actually, let's make a deal where we have some of the games locked in. And they were talking about they're going to have deals to bring the PlayStation Plus subscription or PlayStation Now subscription a little higher. And that's what's happening. Hey, good on them. Good on them. Good on them. Anybody talking shit about this as a gamer, trust me, I think it's trash. Like, I don't care.
Don't you love people who are like, subscription services are dumb, and they're watching the whole entire world change before their eyes. There's an actual super chat war going on right now. Let me read some super chats.
There is a super. I just saw Gaz. He's like, what the hell? I better get a cut.
I went like this. Reds. Yeah. TL Prodigies with a $2 says Infinite was delayed and still came out unfinished. Amen, brother. Biff Rinaldi with a $5 says Elden Ring is going to keep me busy for a while. Facts. It's like all I've been playing this year besides MLB. Delay is going to be easier to deal with when I have this to play, Biff Rinaldi says. Special Nick with the Australian $2 says GoldenEye is all that matters. I will literally fly 16 hours to Australia and kick you right in the booty. No,
I'm going to go there and we're going to get gyros together with some tzatziki and we're going to have a good time as Greek brethren. We're going to hear cheers with our gyros.
I heard those two talking on party chat the other day,
bro,
in Greek, and I was like, huh?
We were literally talking Greek for like a good 45 seconds and everybody was just like, stop it.
I picked out one thing that I could translate, and Zucker said Xbox has no games. Fire71, thank you so much for the $10. He says, Colt, Gaz, Zucker, hit the like button. Hey, do what Fire says. Hit the like button if you guys are having a good time. We've been talking a lot of crazy stuff. We're going to learn a lot of stuff tonight. Zucker and Gaz and I are going to break down what's coming to Xbox and what the studios are working on. It's going to bring some clarity to this weekend where we've been like just freaking out. But Fire says, if y'all don't have 60 games in your backlog, then you're doing something wrong. Be patient with games aren't usually good until they're a couple of months old. Games need to come out good out the gate. Lord Onion with a $5 says Scorn and Hellblade 2 will be this year. Hellblade 2 is October and Scorn is December, according to Lord Onion. They will open their checkbooks and get a third-party game. I want to talk about that as well. Danny Passion Official with a $5 says, what keeps me subbed to Netflix are my kids watching videos that are on YouTube while Danny can game. Zucker, you're wrong. Red Wolf with the 20 says, hey, Father
I'll
Colt.
Fight you, dude. Who said I'm wrong?
We have a meme going around that we don't share publicly of Randall Thor saying, who said I was wrong?
Who said I was wrong? Going under a bathroom stall in a public
He's looking under a bathroom stall looking for something.
We Photoshop a lot of crap about each other. Everybody thinks we give other people crap, but literally we are so toxic with each other that it's
the
endearing.
worst.
It's endearing.
The worst. We can't even share the memes we make.
Jay Fonzarelli called me today. He's like, "We good, bro?" I go, "We're good. Of course we're good." He's like, I hate you, and I go, "I hate you too." So
and then he hung up, and he's like, "You stupid bitch."
This community, it was rough. It was really rough watching everybody fight and argue and get each other's throats, and even Gaz and some of the other community members, me and some people, a couple of Xbox guys who were like big console warriors, more than I am maybe. Ooh, they did not like me this weekend, but it'll simmer.
That's what it is. It's passion. We're passionate about the space. Everyone's like, Katie, why are you doing this? Oh, shut up, man. I'm not going to coddle your sensibilities. Jess Gordon and me and him were literally going at it. Twitter. Jess, you didn't even read the tweet, but he felt compelled to stick his oars in to chase that clout. Oh, don't you dare. I almost made that so
I was egging it on. I was like, oh, Gaz, he's going after your mama. And he's like, what's he doing? I was like, he's doing it, dude. Look at him.
He's like,
oh, no,
your mom PC gamers don't care about exclusives. So shut up. What are you talking about? They didn't even read the tweet. And this is where it frustrates me. Like, I have two camps. Jez did not win. He was like, what about PC gamers? I'm like, why are you talking about PC gamers for? It's like, oh, why did it have to be exclusives? It's just what you are on the show every week. All you talk about is exclusives. Everyone tunes in just to talk about exclusives. Don't even try and downplay it. I'm keeping it real, even if it means I'm in the limelight of all these people. Like the guy called, someone changed his username to Whiny Entitled Gamers and keeps telling me I'm entitled.
Colt, are you
watching? The guy changed his name to Whiny Entitled.
Guys, I got on my phone. I called Gaz. I go, please stop. Please stop. He's like,
yeah, he was on the phone. You don't need to do this. I was like,
you don't need to do this. He's like on the edge of a bridge. He's like, I'll fucking jump, man. I don't care.
He's like, Gaz, it's wild. You're a co-host of this XFC now. You need to chill. Please chill.
Gaz, you don't need to do this. My car's parked below you. And no, but Gaz is standing up top of the building.
I just finished the payments.
His hair is in the wind, and he's like, I'm firing the lights. Let me read Red Wolf's superhero.
The Xbox community, though. I'm proud. Like,
I am too.
Look at this. Xbox community are fighting in between, demanding better. That's to me an indication that the Xbox community actually cares. Unlike some people, I'm going to say it. When the PlayStation Plus announcement was made and the justification was made, I saw wholesale bending over backwards to say, yeah, that's what it is. That's why they keep shafting us. We don't want better for PlayStation Plus and day. I am used to one contingent consistently just excusing it. Yeah. And I'm seeing part of that here, but I'm also seeing a lot of genuine people who are frustrated. And I'm proud of the Xbox community. It kind of reminds me.
Before you move forward, how many monsters have you had yet today?
I've only had what, bro. I just woke up 15 minutes before the show because it's 1 a.m. and had one black coffee, and I'm wired.
What a soldier you are.
I kind of want to spoon with him right now.
Here's my favorite. Some of the PlayStation guys, I mean, we're not going to act like this stuff doesn't exist, right? But some of the PlayStation guys, Zucker, that can't stand me, that hate me, they said, this is the most real Colt's ever been. I'm like, you biased sons of guns. You only like that I said something negative because I replied to someone and said, are you sure you're okay with Halo and Gears and Forza for the past 5 years? And they were like, whoa, come on. They do need new IPs.
Don't be smirch Sea of Thieves 2018, okay?
I said, my tweet said late.
The greatest new IP that Xbox has brought out in years.
My tweet said late 2018, so I could cover you, Zucker, make sure you were good and coddled. Let me read what Red Wolf's...
early 2018.
I didn't even get to go to Red Wolf's super here. Where is it? Oh, my goodness. There it is. Red Wolf, thank you so much for the 20. Hey, Father Colt and Uncle Gaz. Mass Effect is my favorite IP of all time, and literally the one thing that I have wanted is the return of Commander Shepard. Could you all please give your thoughts on this and slip up? Much love. I don't know anything, but we did talk about this on someone's show that they want to bring back Shepard's canon part of the story into the next Mass Effect. I don't know if that means you'll make a Shepard, I think you'll make a new character and you'll still, like Garrus and Liara and some of those other characters, make a return. I'm with you, Red Wolf. I would love that. Risk It for the Biscuit with the Australian 20 says the worst thing about this. Thank you, Risk It. You're amazing. You love it. Console Wars great. Let's swim in it. He says the worst thing about this rifts in the community, everyone needs to calm down and respect each other. I've a lot of respect for the panel, especially Gaz, whom can take critique and respond intelligently. You were right, bro, by the way.
Hey, Gaz. Wow. Hey, Gaz.
I don't hear much of that, so I'll take it.
Your sauce videos need more production.
Oh, don't you even you little troll. Don't you even.
You're like, don't you my bastard, my bastard.
All right, here it is. Here it is. The record-breaking super chat of the X&C podcast, which has only been going 1 year and 1 month, from JCT Bean, who says, super chat war, laugh out loud, just be glad I didn't expect shirts to be taken off. Ask, oh no, it's Alex. Seriously, though, great show, great panel. Hit that like button, folks. Yes, JCT Bean says it so well. Thank you so much for 300. That's amazing. I'm going to buy another light so I can look more beautiful. No, but thank you so much.
You know what you can't buy?
That's
games, because the exclusives don't exist. Ha!
No. Shut up, soccer.
Son of a shnikes. He went there.
True 77 has been a member for 9 months. Says a year from now, Xbox will have Activision. This will all be irrelevant. JK, have a great show. Hargy Chani with the $10 super. Why are you sending me a super Hargy? Come on now. He says, does Starfield actually count as a new Xbox IP or Redfall? Weren't those in? Oh, gosh dang it, Hargy. We argued about this back and forth on Xbox Live. He says, weren't those already in development before acquisition? New IP wise, I would guess Everwild.
Hargy, don't do this. Don't you dare. No. Do not
is there anything else?
Nonsense.
Maybe an Exiles Games compulsion. We're going to get into that list by list. Dylan Dodds says, thank you for the $5, Dylan. Thoughts on a Halo-themed XCOM game or bringing Conquer back?
Bro,
that Halo theme XCOM game, I'm down as hell. After Gears Tactics, I loved Gears Tactics. I think it's one of the most underrated games. And I know it's not a new IP, but it's a new genre game within an IP. And that, honestly, if you haven't played it, everybody needs to play that damn game. It's so good. And if they did that with Halo, of course I'm going to be there. I love Halo Wars also. I said that 2017, everybody talks crap about it. 2022 is worse than 2017. Sorry. Like, Halo Wars 2 was a banger. Like, that was a damn good game. Good Halo story, good gameplay. Everything was very well done in that game. I don't care what anybody says. I'll go to bat for that. It did. It got really short. People were like, oh, whatever. It's just a strategy game. I'm like, shut up. Use your brain.
Yeah, you and Dealer love that.
Yeah, I love strategy games. I love it more than Dealer.
For that.
Screw Dealer.
This one's for Gaz. Gigs Bosun says with a Canadian 5, Gaz, what is the end game of ranting? Not one Xbox fan is happy about this, and they've made that loud and clear.
I've seen this guy literally paste that same thing. Oh, Gaz is biased. Gaz is disingenuous. What's the point of this? Like, you're not giving an alternative. It's like, what do you want me to do? Like, they haven't managed their studios. If it wasn't for the ZeniMax acquisition, would they have not had anything to show this year? Like, what are you asking for? We're ranting because we're frustrated and we're demanding better. You're having your voice heard. Who are they going to listen to? You silently sitting there like, yeah, this is not good. Or influencers or people in the space at least exuding the levels of frustration with this. It needs to happen. I mean, it's quite bold of Colt to have me as a co-host anyway, I have to say. I'm pretty mental.
Regretting it already.
But yeah, you're great already. You said that way too fast.
He did. He did. It was right there. He was like,
you know what?
He was like, ugh.
For too long, a lot of us have said, "Oh man, this sucks," and we just kind of kept it to ourselves. And for a couple of years, like honestly, we're going to get into this in a minute. I keep saying this. There's so much to talk about. But in 2016 was the best year ever for Xbox. It was incredible. 2017 was one of their worst. And then it got a little better. Really, it was this. 2016 was their best. 2017 was their worst. 2018 was not so good, but they started buying studios. 2019, they bought more studios. And so we as Xbox fans said, okay, let's just take a breather. Things are going to roll in. It takes a little bit of time. It was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. No offense, guys. It was like the worst thing that we got to 2022. And it was going to be over with Starfield and Redfall. Xbox Has No Games was done, and then they had to delay. So we're frustrated. This next super chat is the record breaker. Darnell Hill gives a $400 super chat, says, love the show. Darnell Hill, thank you so much. Please send me a DM or an email at colteastwooddesign@gmail.com. Please, thank you so much, as well as
We'll send you nudes.
yeah, these big super chats. Please send me a DM from. Also, I want where's this other one? JCT Bean, send me a super, and one more. I'm trying to remember where there it was. DCRU Seeds. Please send me a DM on Twitter. If you don't have it, send me an email. You guys are amazing.
Of like cult, like here's my OnlyFans. It's just like
it is me dancing.
Just,
no,
I just want
the
to
least I could do. Least I could do.
Flip-flops again.
Yeah, just to pick. You know, actually, a Patreon asked me just to record me saying "be nice," and I just sent them a WAV file. So they probably used that to make a diss track. I don't know. It was great. Don Talking with the $10 says, "I just don't see the point of crying about something that can't be helped right now." I agree. Like,
listen,
we can whine.
I'm gonna just stop what you're saying right now.
What
You better buy me a steak dinner, because right now I'm like the best, lunch you've ever had. You little son of a gun.
You need to massage my earlobes for at least 3 hours straight for the super chats.
I'm going straight for the. Never mind.
What is this? Jesus.
Donataku,
money
save
that
me.
people are
Save
saving
me
on
from this.
exclusives, they're spending it here. That's brilliant.
Somebody said something
super
today.
Chats could have gone to money hatting Gotham Knights or something. God damn.
That's PlayStation's budget of exclusives.
Somebody said today on that podcast you were on, Gaz, they said, "What happened to all this money I'm spending?" It's like, well, haven't spent money for Starfield. Like, nobody's pre-ordered it, have they? I don't know. But Donataku says, "What's the point in crying? Sometimes they can't be helped right now when the future's still the brightest it's ever been. Time to pull out a Switch because Nintendo's carrying 2022.
That's a good marketing thing for Xbox. Hey, man, time to pull out your Switch.
Can you imagine if Phil Spencer says, "Hey, get a Switch, get a Steam Deck"? Yeah. Louis Solid with a MX
Steam Deck.
And everybody's like, "You can't get one, Phil." Louis Solid.
Supply chains, man.
Oh, you just got to tape some Switch controllers onto your phone. Louis Solid with an MX-20 says, "We need more first-party games ASAP." Cheers, everyone. Luis Augustus says, "Thank you." Luis says, "New checkmark Twitter is coming near of an argument. They don't understand why people are mad, but are just white knighting anyway."
Thank you.
Gaz, can you gently bring up this thing? Maybe.
Yeah, I'll gently. What?
Quickly, like, I don't want to linger on it too long. We've got a ton to talk about.
This is a Xbox ambassador that came into the limelight who thought it would be wise to espouse about, hey, leave Phil Spencer alone. He's only human. He runs a multi-million, whatever, big company. Do you do that? Slow and steady wins the race, and some other platitudes. And I'm sorry, I called that out. I'm like, listen, you really, let's be honest, you get free controllers, and you're there for a particular reason. You're not in the space. I'm not trying to gatekeep here. Sounds like it, but the argument was rubbish. Lots of people came at her. A lot of it was negative. A lot of people brought up their time on Quake and stuff. And I'm genuinely I was like, no, just like, what are you talking about? If you're going to come up in this space, at least have something of substance to say that. She got rebuked very quickly, but unfortunately some people were saying they got attacked. I haven't seen it myself, but they're bringing that up. And then she didn't take it well. But I'm sorry, I don't get this security blanket of feelings covered by people. Like, so you're in the public space with the good, you get all the good and the exposure and the free swag, and the bad is the critique. So you're in this space, you have to have a thick skin. I'm sorry, and I'm not saying that to ratify bullying and all that, but I have very little sympathy, and I was just called that out. But ultimately, it just goes to show how the tempers are really high. Xbox really needs to do well. And I'm kind of glad that all of that happened, because it's showing Xbox, all right, there's an issue now. These guys are, whatever we feel like core gamers, no matter how small we are, it will trickle down to the masses. So if there's a discontent with the brand and it's sustained over a period of time, people in the masses will hear it. For now, Xbox Game Pass has been struggling to get into the mainstream's eye line of like, this is really good, but we're naturally doing it because it's such a brilliant service. But if that stops, that momentum can't stop. So it's all positive. This is just par for the course discourse, really. People, don't take it seriously. If that's bothering you so much, delete Twitter, because that's not for you.
But don't dogpile on people. But That's just the name of the
Don't
game, isn't it?
dogpile. Don't be honestly toxicity. If she was being attacked, all that, like we don't need that. Like just treat people decently. But on top of that, also you don't need to defend a grown man that runs a multi-billion-dollar industry. You don't need to do that. Like, I'm sorry, you don't need to defend. You don't need a white knight for that. The guy's worth tens of millions of dollars. He doesn't. I think
we may have heard that maybe. Let's just pretend that he said that he doesn't want people standing up for him. He's got it handled, which we're gonna.
Of course he does. Of course he does. He doesn't give a shit. He's like, all right, well, we're making deals over here. We're going to be doing this and that. It's like that's the whole point. Like, I get what's going on, and I understand, but dogpiling on someone, don't do that. Like, just don't be toxic. Don't dogpile, and then on top of it, don't act like you know what you're doing when you're not doing it. Like, I'm sorry, but like they're talking about like, oh, you don't. She said you don't run a company like Phil Spencer does, so you can't speak on it or some shit like that. And it's like, okay, well, I understand that. That's cool. That makes sense, right? Okay, well, if you like controllers, use them because people are calling you out that you don't play. So can you talk about controllers or do you use them?
No, I mean, the rambling gamer in the chat is also saying, I don't know about trying to justify attacking a girl because she was in a public space. That's not what we're trying to say. But
I don't care if you're a girl or a guy. I don't care what you are. I don't care who you are.
The gender doesn't matter.
The gender doesn't matter. I'm just saying, as a person, you don't need to defend these companies. You should demand better from them because you are a customer. That is the whole point. We put our hard-earned money into them, and if we demand something better, I want something better, or the money will go somewhere else. Because and we are from a different. We're cut from a different piece of cloth. Because not only that, we have passion about this. We love Xbox. We love gaming. Not just Xbox. If Xbox went away, do you think I'm stopping to play games? No, I'm going to play games my entire life like I always have. So if I want better from the companies that make these games for me to experience, then I'm going to say whatever I want to say. You can get the hell out of my face and I'll say it to whoever I want to say it because I've put money, thousands of dollars into this and I was promised certain things and I want those certain things that you talked about for multiple years. So don't defend shit from these people because they care about one thing,
at your peril. Is reality of the world is like you don't have to coddle people like that. If that's the thing you wanted to do, that's fine. But I'm not gonna like this. This is the thing about discourse, and I just don't like this. Oh, I'm hurt. Oh, let's have sympathy vote.
Yeah, but like her argument was
mean to me.
Her argument was, I'm gonna protect Phil Spencer because everyone's dogpiling on Phil and blaming him. So I'm gonna say, hey, lay off him. He's just human, right? But instead, they did the ad hominem and went after her credentials and her gamer cred, right? That was super. That would be super crappy if I was on the receiving end.
This reminds me of the review thing where people were like, "I didn't finish the game, but I reviewed it." Right? Like this reminds me of this. Like all this stuff that's going on. It's the same thing. People want to know, like, hey, if you're going to be talking about something, do it. I want to see you do it. Right? Like, I'm sorry, you need to know how to do whatever you're talking about. Like when I talk about Elden Ring, I know what I'm talking about because I played the hell out of it. Like that's the point. Like if you're going to talk about anything that you're doing, please come from experience. Know what you're talking about. Like that's just me. Like don't get me wrong. I'm not like Hoag's Law is a great person to think about this. I'm not going to sit there and tell you the intricacies of the FTC and the law behind everything and you're all that. Like I'm not going to do that. Like sorry, Gaz can probably do that. So can Hoag's Law, all these people that understand this stuff, but I don't. Like I'm not going to sit there and act like I know that. Can I talk about the games, the studios, all that stuff that I have passion about, that I've read so much about, and that I'm an engineer too. So I can talk about these things because I feel comfortable because it's what I do. It's what I know. It's what I love. But I'm not going to sit there and try to act like, oh, I can't run a multi-billion-dollar. No, I can't. I don't know. Maybe give me the reins, Phil. I'll do it. I'll check it out.
I mean, there is a difference. Some of us, like anybody here in the chat, anybody that we talk to in the gaming community, they dive into the particulars of game development. And we're really into it more than the casual gamer. If you're here watching the show, we've got 1,100 people watching live. Thank you so much. Hit the like button if you're enjoying it. I got some supers to get to. We got to get into this thing about how they're going to mitigate 2022 before we talk about the future. But yes, you're right, Zocker. We know, all of us here in the audience probably know more about the rest of the world when it comes to on the outside of gaming, because we're in the trenches. We're digging into we're reading the articles, we're listening to the interviews, right? So we have an informed decision to make, and we should be able to see games more often. Dub with the $20 super. Thank you so much, Dub. He says, as as a cog in a game dev, COVID has impacted work. Some studios have adopted faster than others, not trying to make excuses, but it has been a big change. That said, they need to improve, and I think they can. Appreciate you guys. Don Taku says, Hellblade 2 and Avowed are not coming this year. Thank you, Don Taku, for the 10. He says, stop getting your hopes up. It'll be Warhammer Darktide, Exomecha, Scorn. I think Exomecha has been pushed further. Pentiment, probably. Grounded, yes. Forza 8, pretty sure, are only exclusive you should expect this year. So Don's got kind of a dark
Warhammer
expectation.
40K, if I don't see it at the game show, I'm worried that it might get delayed.
It's supposed to be September, right? What is it,
September,
Docker?
like September.
You and I are
mid-September. Oh, dude, I love the Warhammer Vermintide, and I love the 40K universe even more than the Warhammer, like regular Warhammer Tide. I don't know, but whatever. I'm just looking forward to it, and I know people are kind of coming at us. By the way, people are kind of coming at us about what we're saying. Listen, if like I've been called multiple things, and I think the people that were toxic with her, I already blocked them. Like, you don't understand. I made one thing about the little screw at the bottom of the PS5. I made one comment about it, saying that this is not user friendly and it's kind of like unnecessary. And I literally was called every single name in the book for 3 straight days, and I blocked like 90 people, and I literally didn't even give a shit. I just blocked and move on because those people are not worth my time. And then I focus on the people that gave me constructive criticism, that were like, hey, but what about this? And they weren't insulting me at all. That's the only thing. If you're afraid of being insulted, don't go on Twitter. Don't go on social media, because it's going to happen. You can say Halo is the greatest thing ever, and people are going to be like, you are stupid. And the other people are going to be like, you're so great. That's just what's going to happen.
Yeah, and what we also don't know is I'll bet you she got half a dozen really terrible DMs. Guaranteed.
Oh, 100%. But it sucks.
Yeah, and we're not... It's kind of hard to convey this problem, and maybe we're not doing it the best, but you have to be careful what you say in a public forum, because you're going to... Like when I wrote out my 3rd grade math about how day and date on PlayStation Plus would make them more money, it really upset a lot of people, to the point where I just had to mute the thread and then delete it, because I was getting attacked, harassed, called horrible names, all over an opinion, all over an Insight in Gaming. But Paul with the $5 says, since the Activision acquisition won't finish till next year, do you think they could get this year's Call of Duty on Game Pass? Thank you for the 5, Paul. No, because of marketing with PlayStation. Hardy Chani broke the record yet again by pulling a Price is Right maneuver and adding an extra $1. And he says, with a $400 super chat, Hardy Chani, I'm going to put you in a headlock when we meet. Your Grace. Thank you so much, Hargy. He says, Captain America Colt.
Crazy.
And Gaz, Loki, and Rocket Raccoon, Zocker. Super Chat Civil War is on. The game that started a requirement to delay Cyberpunk Global Key, and he puts down the key there. I'm sure somebody got it. Please let us know.
What a crazy guy. What a crazy guy. Shout out to him. Shout out to everyone.
I legit, like, Hargeet's one of the most generous people in the community. Super helpful for everything, and he's just a really, really good person. So and it's not, and I don't care about like how much stuff he drops. I'm just talking about person wise. He'll help you with anything you need, and he'll try to like find answers for you. And dude's always cool to just talk in the party with. And I talk to him all the time, almost daily. And we just shoot the shit, talk about games, and have a good time. And then he cuddles me at night, and I feel great at night.
And all that was standing, his laugh is completely amazing. When he laughs, it just makes me so happy. So he's level-headed. We talk, we laugh, we joke. He's such a great guy. Thank you so much, Hargy. Your baby Farva with the $5 talking to Gaz the other day. He says, this was for you, Gaz. He says, Gaz was swinging his sword against the check marks for the betterment of all Xbox players all weekend. Love to see it. $5 because I'm poor.
Doesn't matter. £5, $2. It's all the same. Thank you so much. I ran out of breath there. Clearly, I need to do cardio.
Yeah, no. I'm like, how did you run out of breath?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm so out of shape. Jesus.
Like,
damn, I feel bad for your girl. Jeez.
A month ago, he was on my show, and he did like a 3-second dance move, and he came back to the mic like he was gonna die, like his lungs were gone, like they fell off the planet.
He's like, oh, that was too much. Let me grab this powdered donut.
For that intro where I'm dancing, like I'm just doing whatever for the intro. If you watch the video, there's no music, so there's just me on camera dancing, and all I could hear is me. To sound like Jabba the Hutt having an asthma attack. Is like
we were talking about this. I have a new intro on the show. Hold on a second. Let me grab it. I got this new intro where I've got actually, I don't know if it'll let me scrub forward, but I won't play it. But Gaz and I are dancing, and we were both laughing because I do this like air guitar and I do like a fist pump. And if I listen to it like the raw footage, it's like this. It sounds so dumb.
So weird.
All right, let me get this super.
So
Jonas the Dad with the $2 super says majority of community, one voice, Xbox do better. Yes. DCRU Seeds with another record-breaking super chat. Thank you so much with a $500 super chat. He says, haha, mine is bigger. For your information, YouTube puts a limit on how many super chats you can send, apparently.
You hit the limits of super chats. DC, come to Game On Daily. Yeah,
he's like sweating. He's like, oh, Jesus.
Anyway,
Game On Daily. Forget Colt's channel. Come to us.
Donna talking with the $5 says 2022 is not worse than 2017. Yeah, I would agree with this actually. Tunic is better than any Xbox exclusive. A Plague's Tale Requiem is coming. Warhammer Dark Tide have great potential. Yeah, 2022 has got more third-party support. Let's get this out of the way.
First party. The 2017 people are forgetting, and it was a massive success. PUBG in December came in 2017 and killed it. Like absolutely killed it for Xbox. It was a massive success when BRs were kind of starting to build up and people were like, what is this? And they didn't know it was a trash game because it was programmed terribly. And then Apex Legends came out and ate everybody's lunch.
A surprise for sure. I've had such a hard time getting to the topic. I got to ask you, Gaz, what is Xbox and Sarah Bond going to do to mitigate? They basically lost 2 major games for Game Pass and console platform subscribers and owners, right? They lost 2 games that were supposed to be in the pipeline. It's a dry year. What are they going to do to fix losing Starfield and Redfall?
So, and shout out to Sarah Bond. I always hear from the background that Sarah Bond is one who's really aggressive. She wants Xbox to do well. She is the new James Allard. If people know the old school dinosaurs, James Allard was the head of, I don't know what, some Xbox or whatever. Yeah, he's the he is called the father of Xbox. He's the one who said, make it mandatory. You have broadband internet for the console, hard drive in there. The guy is a certified legend. And he said he wouldn't rest until he had Ken Kutaragi's resignation letter on his desk. Great guy, but that's the kind of mindset I love. No, Mr. Nice Guy. He was raw, but nice at the same time, and he meant business. Sarah Bond, I'm hearing, is the same character, same kind of drive. And that's where I have faith. And I'm like, okay, time to step up to the plate, Sarah. Sarah's actually been the reason why Xbox Game Pass is where it's at. It's actually that people need to respect. So in terms of, that's where I like, okay, this is where the war is on. Now the pressure is on. Sarah Bond can deliver. This could be a couple of things. They can plug in third-party exclusives. We talk about it a lot. That doesn't satisfy me. I think it's just patchwork fix, right? But you really want to make a message, then go for the big third-party multiplayer. Problem is, what is that? Because we talked about Gotham Knights being the strongest candidate. And I'm like, okay, that's good, but it's not enough to.
I would think Saints Row is one of the strongest candidates. That's me. I would think Saints Row, maybe something from somebody that hasn't announced something. Like if you could get a big third-party game in there with Dark Tide and Motorsport, it's looking okay.
I think Gotham Knights.
Talk about Gotham Knights versus Saints Row, because I know you've talked about the possibility of Gotham Knights. You and I are excited about Gotham Knights. I know Gaz is
I'm super excited for Gotham Knights. I don't give a shit.
Are you excited as well? Okay, fine, because a lot of people are a bit split on that. I'm not
mad at it.
Bro, everybody was talking about the movement. Like, listen, like everybody knows I'm I'm like King David. I'm just a massive freaking comic book geek loser who loves this shit. So I'm just saying, like, the way Nightwing was fighting in that game, it looked like Nightwing in the comics. It looked like Nightwing should. The way Red Hood was fighting, it looks like it should. Everything looked like it should, fighting wise. I get some people had like some problems with it. Like, I don't know, man. It's video games. Get the hell over it.
It did look stiff.
The animations look a little stiff, and the world looked empty. But the buildings looked amazing. A lot of stuff in there looked amazing. The story looks great, and a lot of the world building looks great. That's what I liked in there. So I'm looking forward to this game. I think that if Xbox could lock it down for a Game Pass day and date, that would be insane. Like that would be
big.
And
I'm not denying
I can see them trying to maybe mitigate some of the expenses that it took to make this game, because they were working on this for years. And if Xbox is looking for something to get people hyped up about, this is it. Get like a Saints Row or Gotham Knights.
I think it would work for both parties. I think it'd be really good. Gotham Knights, if Cerebon lock that in, if you can, if it's possible, because
what did Asa
I think
call
that would
him?
really help.
He called him Dick Wing. It's Dick Grayson, you trash ass.
Did he call him Dick Batwing or what was it?
Tea and crumpet eating, pinky raising while you drink your tea, son of a gun.
Dick
I never liked.
Shout out to Flush Jackson. Yeah. Dick Wingbat. Flush Jackson remembers. We were dying in the show. So here's something we're gonna get into this as well. I think maybe Sarah, I'll call them by the first name. Sarah and Phil, my good friends. No, Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer may not be looking at grabbing something like Saints Row or Gotham Knight if what we're going to talk about in a minute here is true, that there are some big surprises that aren't Halo and Gears or Forza. Okay, let me get a couple of these super chats. Let me get the juices flowing for my amazing panel here with Gaz as my co-host and Soccer87, the expert in the field of everything except for well, he's got expert eyebrows. He's a handsome fella.
Thank you. That's a Greek. Those are Greek eyebrows. It's like two caterpillars about to go out.
I am going to Docker, in your DM, I'm going to DM you the list of the games that we're pretty sure are coming in 2022 to get started in this conversation. They're there now for you. Let me read a couple supers from we're not too far behind. We're doing okay here. Don Ataku, I got that one. There we go. Fire 71. Thank you so much for the $10 super. Really appreciate everybody's support today. It's been really amazing. We've had a rough weekend. I feel like we're kind of making it over this, but Fire says only use my PS5 for exclusives, play everything else on Xbox. Just finished Assassin's Creed Odyssey, still have Cyberpunk. Nice, you're lucky. Valhalla on my list. You'll enjoy it. And that's just the RPGs currently playing. Tomb Raider, I can wait. Yes, you have some big games to play, Fire. Thank you so much. You're very lucky. Those games are amazing. They're going to keep you busy for probably 3 months easily if you're playing every day. Silent Cyber with a $5 says it's not the size of the super chat, it's how you use it. Love you guys. Keep up the great comment. And Crazy Louie sends 1,000 pesos and says you guys send 400, 500, but I send 1,000 pesos. I love it. Yeah, thank you so much, Crazy Louie. You're hilarious.
Crazy Louie is crazy.
He is
Stay away
awesome.
from me. I'm gonna get an injunction against that guy. He's weird.
I put a restraining order on him, but he keeps coming by. I don't get it.
He will break it, bro. You can't contain the madness.
Zucker, tell the audience what games they are guaranteed or almost guaranteed to play in 2022 on the Xbox platform.
First up is the Dick Drip Scorn. That's one. I'm sorry. Yeah. No. So we got Scorn. This is what Colt sent me in DM, so we could talk about it.
You can do a short description because like somebody's like Dark Tide. I'm not interested in Dark Tide. They might not know what it is. So you can give it a short description.
So we got Scorn, which is like that Geiger, whatever that's called, like kind of weird.
H.E. Geiger.
H.E. Geiger. Yeah, it's kind of game. I don't know. I'm not really looking forward to it. It looks kind of weird. I might check it out, but we got Forza Motorsport, which again, it's been 5 years, I want to say, since the last one came out. So
yes,
I think it's due, and that's going to be a technical showpiece for Xbox. Game wise, I'm not that big on racing. I only like really Forza Horizon, so we'll see what happens there. We got Warhammer 40K Dark Tide, which is due September 13th, by the way. I looked it up. So that's coming out for both Xbox Game Pass console and PC, and it's the people that made Warhammer Vermintide, Fat Shark is what they're called, and they're doing it in the 40K universe, first-person shooter, and melee combat looks freaking awesome. Age of
Empires, four-player co-op, and it's got big, massive maps. Like you traverse across a huge map. You're like, man, when's this end? And what would you call the Dark Tide and Vermintide series? What would you compare it to? If somebody's like, what kind of game is it?
Game Pass fodder.
Is it like Left 4 Dead?
I would say I will fight you, Gaz, with my belly button hairs. I'm gonna say,
to be fair, Gaz liked his couple rounds he played at Vermintide with us.
I don't know, like how would you
I think it'd be fun. It looks
think
amazing.
It's like
fun.
basically like a 4-player co-op. Think of Back for Blood or Vermintide or like a World War Z or a Zombie Army 4, but at first person and pretty high quality. Like I'm gonna say AAA quality, and a lot of it I'm really looking forward to it. I think it looks awesome.
Same.
Like I know a lot of people didn't like Back for Blood for some reason, but that thing, like over 7 million people played that like in the first month. Like I really enjoyed that game and beat it with my buddies. We all play. I never played it alone. I didn't go at it. It's like those games aren't meant to be played alone. You play with your friends.
Yeah.
And then from there we have Age of Empires 4, that RTS game that came out last year that I beat on PC, but now it's going to be coming to console hopefully this year. I'm sure they'll talk about it at the game show and be like, coming to console at X amount a day, whatever.
Can I ask you, somebody said to me the other day, there's no way Age of Empires would work on a controller. How much truth is to that?
No, it'll work. It'll work fine. They could get it to work. Like, I mean, have you ever played Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle Earth? Stuff like that can work
on PC.
No. That was a console exclusive.
I played.
That was on the 360. That was on the 360. The console. It was on the console only for a while. Then it went to PC.
H.R. Geiger. Thank you, Tim. I said H.G.
Yeah, so,
it's Teddy Geiger.
Yeah. Hey, man. Yeah. So look forward to that, and then we got Grounded. No, I'm joking. Grounded 1.0, the game that Colt has like 700 hours in. That's coming out. I think because it's been in preview, so that's coming out. Like you said, it's a base building. You're a little like small, tiny person that goes into the garden and you make nice gardens and you fight spiders. Colt really loves it. He said it's his game of the generation for the last 3 generations. We got
it is good though. It is good.
We got Dust Falls, which is like a story driven kind of game. That's what I'm thinking. Like it looks kind of it's very single A, double A. Don't worry about it. Somerville.
How many games did I give you that are I'm pretty like I would guarantee like I did Starfield is going to come out, but I'm pretty sure these are coming out. But how many did I give you on this list? You're almost
1,
at the
2,
end.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. You gave me 8 games, and only 3 of them I would say personally are AAA. The rest are kind of like
where are you at after Grounded? You said what was the
next
I got
Dust Falls, and then Somerville. We talked about that, which looks okay, and then Replaced. Replaced looks sick. I don't know where Gaz went, but like
I want to get a charge on my headset. Ran out batteries because of all the crap games you guys were listing.
Would you see? So are you telling us that your headset committed suicide from all the games?
The batteries just drained from all the AA batteries for AA games.
Yeah, I feel like he opened his drawer super aggressive. Like he left camera, then you hear like stupid games, and like slams the drawer and like comes back.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what game are you on?
I'm done. Replaced was the last one.
Oh, Replaced is Somerville. Did I put Somerville on there?
Yeah. I said Somerville.
Both indie titles. Yeah. Both
Somerville is made by Limbo and Insight. Hey,
Replaced looks mad.
Replaced looks cool, and Somerville is made from the Inside and Limbo team. That one could be really.
Wow, is it really?
Yeah.
Dealer's really stoked,
dude. Those guys, I played both those games. Those games are amazing.
Artwork. That's art. Also, Replaced looks like that as well. But both the games, both indie titles, and they get me more excited than a lot of the whatever the crap you guys were listening. Not crap. That's horrible to the devs. I'm sure you guys like it, but you know what I mean, right? You want a little bit of clash.
You make me excited, Gaz.
That's all that matters, baby. Talk to me.
It's always a good show when you see Gaz's lower half been over picking up batteries. It's always a good show. Red Wolf with the $2 super says, Dad, can we get a longer show because of donations, please? We got to get into the list of studios. This is what we're going to do next.
Yeah.
Let's see what time we got. Okay. Xbox has 15 studios that are currently working on games. I've said this a million times in videos, but we're going to go through and get people to understand where they are, where they've been, and where they are going. And what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to try and take these to all 3 of us while also kind of pointing them to the resident experts. So we're going to start off talking about, I want to start with Gaz on this one because I think Zach would be perfect for the next studio. As I run out of breath, Gaz, tell everybody what 343 is doing and what they're going to be doing over the next 5 to 10 years.
You go to Gaz? You go to Gaz with that one?
343. I can answer that question with one word. Nothing. Next question.
Damn.
Next question.
What
So
does
everyone's like, where's the
343
first
do?
party games, right? I want you guys to preface this with, and the audience, right? Pay attention just for a minute. You guys are amazing. Hit the like button, get us to 500 likes. We have over 1,000 people watch. You guys have made tonight so much fun. We're going to approach these studios with the where in the heck are the games? What have they been doing? And where are they going? Okay. And I may work on a video down the road talking about their roadmap because things really, really changed. So Gaz, where has 3-4 been? What have they been doing and where are they heading in the next 5 to 10 years?
Very bold of you. 343, the Rand says expect them to show something at the showcase event. And who knows? Look, I'm shocked that people aren't asking for a content roadmap for the single player. That's
what you get. That's what you get for talking smack about Halo. I see you, fool.
What did you?
That's
You hit
right.
your elbow?
Yeah, I hit my elbow and this
I
bloody
hope it
desk
happens
is so
again.
sharp.
I hope it happens again.
Yeah. Thank you for
penance.
that. Thank you.
Sauce.
No. No, I think they will. I desperately need them to show the content roadmap because I thought the story was rubbish. So they need to show the first single player content stuff. And I think a lot of season 2 was just like a fat L, but they're really gearing up for season 3. I think they really need to show that. So expect something to be shown off to reinstate a lot of lost faith and big
can I ask
numbers.
you how much of season 2 have you played, bud?
Very little. I played a couple of days ago and I just didn't enjoy it.
I'm just wondering, you know.
No, I played.
You said it was a fat L, and
standing.
I'm just asking, guys. Hey, don't get
I played it.
Why do you got to dig into his credentials like that and harass him?
There's
Oh,
two
what do you
maps. There's last spot and standing, which I did, and there was just people sitting around corners. Just it's like, right, this is Battle Royale light done.
It's a noob complaint. Got it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's just Halo. Halo is just what 2 maps and
You know
last
what?
couple of modes is not going to do it. We need more big BTB maps. We need classic maps. Give me a bloody Zanzibar. Just chuck in Blood Gulch. I know it's a simple map.
Zanzibar. Give me that Battle Royale.
Give me Wizard.
A lot of people have been holding off. Like a lot of people are like, you know what? I'm going to kind of boycott until the content's up to snuff. Let's move on from Halo because I think Gaz and I've done 73 hours of podcasting about how we're not happy with Halo.
Yeah.
Zocker, the next studio in question is where has Coalition been and what are they doing? This
Coalition,
is a good one. And there's a couple of secrets in here too that you can talk about or try to.
I can try to. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about Coalition. They've actually come out publicly and said, hey, we're going to be working on the Unreal 5 engine and we're going to be kind of quiet for a little while. We'll see about that. There's a couple things that might be coming out. I think Special Nick just talked about something. If you remember, he brought out basically the Marcus Phoenix collection. Right. I think that was Special Nick that was talking about that. Like he's had articles written about him that's out there. So maybe they're working on something like that, which don't you, I would play the shish kebabs out of that. I don't care what you say. Why wouldn't you? It's Gears of War. Did you say Gears of War?
Gears of War so tired, man. No one wants to play that.
Hey, PC gamers don't have like 3 or 4 of the games at all. They don't have
for PC, I guess.
So Gears remake, right? There might be a little surprise later that I don't know. Maybe they're working. There's been rumors for a while that they're working on something. Man.
Do you think the Coalition is working on this Gears remake, or you think they farmed it out?
That's a good question, man. I don't know.
What's your guess?
Coalition is so talented.
Honestly, I would say they have a lot of people on staff. I think they have like 400 or 350 or something like that. Like they have a massive studio. So I wouldn't be surprised if, they take a couple people to remake it and give it the Master Chief
pull
collection.
it up, guys.
Yeah, pull it up how much they have. And so
I'll do a poll for them about Gears because they're kind of split.
I think
I want them to work on something new though. I want them to work on something new.
Well, they are.
I think they need
about what else they're doing.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Nobody else knows what they're doing. I don't know what
we talked about it last night when we were in
then
a secret meeting.
You mentioned it, boy. I ain't doing it.
Oh, can you be super vague? Because okay, let me do it. Super vague. Apparently, it's a possibility. Take this with a grain of salt that the Coalition is working on a major franchise company partnership. Is that okay, Zocker?
What the hell does that mean?
They're working with a major company that has big IPs, and they're working on one of their IPs. Who knows? Maybe that's what we talked about a lot tonight.
Just say it. No one's gonna sue you.
No, there's been rumors that
he can do it.
That Coalition is working on something, and Gears 6, and then the Gears remake is out of there. So because Aaron Greenberg said the other day they're working on multiple projects, or he said 2 or 3 projects. I actually have pulled that up before. So we know they're working on more than one thing. So they're working on something big. I don't know what.
Star Wars.
We have no idea. That's already been kiboshed. That's already been kiboshed.
Star Wars, yeah.
That's already been officially said no, but Coalition is working on some stuff, so they have more
Coalition
than one
are
game.
mad talented, man. They've been sitting for a while. I can't. If they deliver something, I don't know how far off those things are, but that is a mad talented studio, man. I'm hyped to see their stuff.
Yeah, because I know Coalition has said they wanted to take a break from Gears, but we don't know, so we can only assume they want to work on something big. So I'm not sure. Let's go on to the next studio. Yeah, well, we got that Ninja Turtles game coming. Let me find the next one. All right, this is for you guys. What's going on with Rare? Make this one quick, because you talked about it the other day.
Nothing. Wireframe the game, aka Everwild. Next. I mean, we don't know. Rare have gone back to the drawing board with Everwild, which is kind of crazy to me. They've shown so much of it. So maybe they might show something. Also, there's rumors abound that, what is it? Banjo remake that's happening, right?
Really?
Banjo.
I don't want a Banjo remake.
Made an Unreal Engine, apparently. Isn't that the case? Oh, is that? Well, we're not allowed to talk about it. I don't know. I heard some stuff. These guys, they're in circles.
I know
where
that
people
Rare
know
said they
things,
don't
and
want
I'm
to
in the
work on
middle,
their
like,
old
wait,
IPs.
what?
Yeah, Rare
Banjo
said they don't want to work
happen
on
Unreal Engine. Unreal Tournament would be amazing, but yeah.
Where's my list? Yeah.
Everwild,
okay, so turn 10. Turn 10,
Everwild. So Everwild, and then not to mention, there's apparently going to be like something with what you call it? I would say Sea of Thieves. Listen. Hey, don't ever besmirch it, guys. I will fly over to the UK and sit on your chest. I don't want to hear it.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Zocker, quickly go through turn. I'm going to give Zocker a 2 for here. Turn 10, and then I want you to cover this big one next. Tell us what's going on turn 10, and then Obsidian.
Turn 10, obviously, Motorsport. They're building all the assets for it. It's going to be a graphical showpiece. I hope we see it. We've already seen some in-game footage from 2 years ago, if you guys remember at the show. So I'm just going to say that I want to see it at the show. I want to see what it's all about. And I also want to see that because it ties in with the game I care about more, which is like Forza Horizon 18. That's going to come out in like however long. So because they use a lot of the assets that Turn 10 has, right? So yeah. I want to see what it's going to look like on the next gen only and see what it's all about. That's my big thing.
Okay. Yeah. What's Obsidian's very, very busy. We already talked about Grounded, and I talked about Project Pentiment, which is a dialogue adventure type game. What are they working on, Zocker? And then I'll go to Gaz on the next studio.
Obsidian Entertainment?
Yep.
Avowed, obviously. That's a big one. And who knows what else, honestly.
Because your gameplay for a while.
I would see, if you remember that leak that came out, it was public. Jez Gordon talked about Jez Gordon, the
damage limitation guy. Yeah. Damage control.
Yeah,
Jez Gordon.
Jez was talking about basically the gameplay being like, he's heard that it's, getting closer and that they might reveal it. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this at the show and maybe get a 2023 release date. Like hopefully, right? And then they're also working on the Outer Worlds, and I'm sure they're working on other stuff like Grounded updates and a couple other things. Like, isn't there like a rumor like they're working like on 6 projects or some shit? Like, well, that's
the Project Pentiment is like an indie title with a very small team.
I don't know if that's Obsidian though.
Isn't it? Isn't Project Pentiment? Colteastwood, who's making Project Pentiment?
Josh Sawyer.
Ah,
the one I talked about. They talked about studios working from home and having to work in the office. Yeah, it's
which is quite fun.
A small team, a small part of Obsidian that are working with him on that. He's one of the lead designers. So, yeah, I mean, I hear it's like Disco Elysium, not a lot of combat, mostly like narrative driven. So it might be a surprise release this year. It might be ready for this year. It might be something we see at E3 and they say coming holiday 2022. It's not going to move the needle, but maybe it'll be really interesting.
Okay. Diversity in Xbox's library is great, so I'm grateful for that. I need to play Disco Elysium and complete that because that's whatever little I've played, I'm just something special. But yeah, What's the next
and
one?
then there's one more from Obsidian, of course, that they're working on. Did you mention it while I was
Worlds 2?
typing Outer Worlds 2?
Yeah, I said
Okay, the
that.
next studio.
I said that.
The next studio goes to. I feel like I won't do this. Otherwise, I give like Gaz back-to-back difficulty studios. Zocker, what's going on with Undead Labs? Saved you guys. Like, where are they at? When do they release? When are they supposed to release State of Decay 3, do you think?
I don't think there's any date on it. I think they've had development trouble. They opened that new studio to help with animations. I think they're a little ways off. I think State of Decay is at least 2 years away. At least. That's my thing, because they've grown exponentially. So I don't know. I think they're far. They're far. For me, at least. That's just me. I understand they've been working on it for a while, but they grew like crazy. Gaz is super cute, and that's all I know.
Oh my gosh.
It's so annoying. Why is State of Decay so far away, man? That's a studio they acquired and announced in 2018. Come on, man. They need to show at least. No, I don't know.
They've had their problems. They've had their problems.
Yeah, they've had problems.
When you look at these first party studios, they have too many stumbling obstacles going on. Let me Gaz, Ninja Theory. When did they last release? And what's coming up?
I think Hellblade 2 could actually come out. Project Mars, someone mentioned in the chat. I don't think that would do it. This seems like an experimental game talking about the realities of mental health issues. That could be really good because Hellblade did a lot for that. Well, it brought into the limelight more, which is great. And if you really needed to watch the making of Hellblade 1 to really appreciate that side of things. But as far as what it could feasibly deliver, that could make a big impact. I actually think Hellblade 2 might actually see. I know everyone says it's always reserved for the Keeleys and the video game awards, but there's no particular real reason they have to stringently stick to that. They're not beholden to Jeff Keighley. So it may be the case that they show it off, and Hellblade 2 could be a surprise release for 2022. I really don't know. But we've seen.
I'm kind of with you, Zocker. What do you think that Hellblade 2 could possibly be ready for the very end of 2022?
Nope, I don't think
so.
No? Okay. I don't think so because they haven't. I almost half-heartedly don't expect it to show up at the show. The only place they've shown it at the show was. Have they ever shown it? No, they announced it at the Game Awards, showed the gameplay at the Game Awards, and then never showed it at any of their events. So I wouldn't be surprised if they show the gameplay and release at the Game Awards in December and then bring it out later in 2023. That's just me. That's what I think.
That's what a lot of people are saying, but I think it would make sense. So hopefully they've progressed into it a lot. I'd like to see that because the question is, without Hellblade, that's the big heavyweight. They actually stand a chance of showing gameplay. What else?
That's the big.
I'm putting more of my money. I'm putting more of my money. Hopefully, I don't think it's going to happen. This is grain of salt crap, people. Avowed. I just want to see, because if Avowed is farther along than people think, and it's been in development for a while, it was announced 2 years ago, and it was working on it before we saw little like hand gesture was gameplay, right? I want to see that game. That Avowed is probably one of my most anticipated games because I love that fantasy. This is why Elden Ring took over my life. I still have it here because the fantasy genre is just so much more enticing to me than any sci-fi thing can be. I'm sorry, I know that sucks for people to hear, but I've always been Dragon Age over Mass Effect any day of the week. That's just me.
Yeah, you are.
Such a piece of. Yeah, man.
Have you been playing them, Gaz?
No, I have never played a Dragon Age.
As Corden saw gameplay a year ago.
Did you really not? Did I just call you out? Oh, you son of a bitch.
I don't like the orcs and elves and all this shiznats. Sorry, it's family show, remember, Zorka? Apart from World of Warcraft.
You know what? I was the same way, Gaz, and then Skyrim just won me over completely. I was like, I loved it. As much as I said Parthunax or something on my video and people got so mad, that's not how you pronounce it, according to the booklets of the Elder Scrolls. Avowed would be amazing. And I'm with Fonz. Fonz in the chat. Shout out to Fonz, who says he wants to see Avowed. Brother. Jez Corden saw some game. Somebody sneaked him some pre-alpha gameplay of Avowed, and he kind of wrote an article about it a year ago. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that Avowed would be shown this year. But we're thinking 2023. Yeah, it's tough. Let's go to the next studio. Double Fine. This is a little bit dicey. Double Fine said they're working on a multiplayer game. I think that's all he said.
Why?
We don't know anything. We don't know
Zocker.
anything they're working on. We don't know anything they're working on.
We
They
don't
just
know
brought out
anything.
Psychonauts 2. The whole studio was on Psychonauts 2. We know that for a fact. So we have no idea what they're doing. It's just wait
Aren't they
and see.
supposed to be doing the Banjo remake on Unreal Engine?
I don't.
Isn't
even
Double
fucking
Fine
know.
the one doing it?
I don't
idea.
know.
Okay.
I hope not.
Like that.
I mean,
Yeah, I
they're
hope
fit
not.
for it.
I'm very anti Banjo Kazooie or Conquer. I'm sorry, chat, but I feel like Xbox needs to deliver mature AAA games.
Wait, hold on.
first.
You're against Conquer,
Yes.
bro?
Oh my god! Of course he's against Conquer. He
Conquer's
can't
not
even
a-
play the game. There's too much
Time out,
swear words
time
in
out.
there.
Conquer-
I know.
Conquer's
I know he
Conquer's
swears,
not
but
a kid's game. Like I used to, like me and my buddy used to play against those evil teddy bears, and when you shoot them, like cotton would fly out of their neck like it's blood. Oh, it's beautiful. I
Yeah.
love that game. I would play that game in a heartbeat if they remade it.
I
Yeah.
know that
I
it
made a
has
video-
now that mature, inappropriate tone, but I think Xbox needs to get under their belt. I've said it for years. Mature cinematic games that they've been missing for 15 years, something. I don't know.
I know what you mean.
I've said
More
it many times.
serious, like single player, sad dad.
But I've
linear
also
games,
said,
yeah.
AJ, I've also said Xbox announced all these games, and I'm like, okay, now you can announce that you're working on Banjo. So maybe I'm like, get those games out first, and then you can drop a Banjo or a Conquer or a Spyro the Dragon or Ukulele or Duka-Hookie or a Shabalaba Ding Dong, whatever
They
you
can-
want.
They
What?
could work on this this mega platformer if the ABK deal goes through. Can you imagine Spyro, Crash, Conquer, Banjo? Could be a mega platformer they could work on it. I mean, I think Xbox needs that platformer mascot thing. So that's fine. I agree with you. They need more serious,
I
like
do
mature
too. I
games.
do too. I'm not black or white. I'm not like draw the line in the sand.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of both. Let me put the brakes on this just for a second. Thank you all for being here for the XNC podcast. This is a show that goes live on the Colt Eastwood channel. I am trying to be the host. I'm Colt Eastwood. I'm here with my co-host, Gaz from Game On Daily. And we've got a special guest, Zocker87 of RDX fame and Zocker87's YouTube channel that is just cruising right up there to greatness, getting close to 50,000 subscribers. So we'll have his information linked in the chat. What are you at right now, Zocker?
I don't know. I honestly, people, I don't look at that stuff. I just make videos and enjoy it.
It's
Like
three.
but
He
I'm
just
about to-
puts
I'm
his
about
head
to
down
look.
and just cranks out videos, rain or shine. I have.
And I make my
his
thumbnails
at
with
on-
my toes.
I have his at for Twitter, but let me go to you and get these
Oh,
numbers.
you're almost
'cause
at 50.
yeah, he's
I'm
at
at
45,
45.
just over 45,000. So no small feat. Thank you so much for being here. If you're having a good time, hit the like button. We've got over 1,000 people who are checking out the show. If you've just joined us, we're breaking down every studio and where they've been and where they're going, because everyone's like, where the crap are the games? And there's actually some good answers buried in the actual research that we're all doing together. But let me grab a couple supers. We got one for Fire71 says another one. Thank you so much for the $5. He says, if I give you all my money, there'll be none left for RDX tomorrow. But this chat is fire. Can't wait to hear them boys tomorrow. When Colt's there, it's gold. Yeah, I love being on RDX, but I'll probably get on there soon or close to E3 time. Aluminum54 with the $2 says, cage match, Colt Gas versus Zocker, big money. I don't know if you guys know
I'll
this,
bring
but
I'll bring
Let's
the
get-
oil. I'll bring the oil.
I'll bring the Jello.
I'm down.
I'm pretty sure that
I'll bring the
Zocker is about
camcorder.
a foot taller than Gaz. I'll bring the camcorder and
Wait,
the
how
Jello.
tall are you? Are you quite tall, Zoga?
How tall are you?
How are you? I'm barely 5'8".
Oh, I'm 6'2", 6'2 and a
Oh
half.
my god, you're tall, bro. I think we had this conversation before, but I can't. You look like a little toddler, but you're actually really tall. Damn, man.
That's literally the whole joke. Everybody's like, he's a toddler, and I'm like, yep. And when you see me, they're gonna be like,
You're
what the hell?
6'2", Jeez.
I told
Yeah,
you, I'm
someday
gonna
we'll
I'm gonna
meet.
put you on my shoulders at E3 so you can see the screen.
Zucker's
got
going to
you,
be this
guys.
huge 6'2" hairy guy in a diaper. And he's like, I'm a toddler. Yeah,
Why do I gotta be a diaper? What the?
it's what you do.
Bonds, you're
Risk It for the Biscuit with the
5'6".
Australian $8 says, thank you, Risk It. He says, I think the port from UE4 to UE5 is also adding to the delay for some of the games. What do you guys think? 2018 games should be a lot further along. Zocker, what do you think about that? Is
What was that?
Unreal Engine 5 part of the delay?
If anything, it's helping the delays. Like
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I think a little bit of the delay. I talked about this. I think it was RDX, or it might have been on, I don't know whose show it was, but I was saying that I think a lot of developers are delaying stuff because there isn't a lot of consoles out. Like, I think they're kind of waiting because like Sony drastically cut by millions how much they're going to bring out. Xbox is trying to get as many as they can out there. And I think putting exclusive next-gen games out there is a little terrifying to publishers. So I don't think it's just one thing. I think it's multiple factors. The obviously the semiconductors, the supply chain thing going on, and then not to mention just the delays that are happening across the world. So I don't know, man. I think that it's a lot of things coming together.
Yeah.
Zalker definitely gives off those 5'6" vibes. Thanks, man. Thanks.
5'6". It's just funny because you're
speak softly and carry a big stick. You know what I'm saying?
It's because your camera's at that height where it's like, yeah, but no, he is a big dude.
I literally jank it up right here, like with some stuff. I don't know, whatever. I'm having a good time with my Coke Zero.
And I'm drinking Mountain Dew so I can just get unhealthy as all get out.
I'm having Coke too.
I just put your YouTube channel link. I just put your YouTube channel link in the description, and I was like losing my train of thought trying to hit Control C, Control V. That's how bright I am today. Totally burned. It's been such a literally for 5 days. I've been like this. It drove my family crazy.
Yeah.
Dad, how many times are you going to type in Xbox has no games? Shut up,
dude. It's been crazy. All right, next on In Exile. This is an interesting one, Gaz. In Exile just finished making a game for everyone, PlayStation, Wasteland 3 in 2020.
Yeah.
Rocker? 2020?
2019, I thought.
It might have been 2019.
Wait, was it? No,
it
was 2020. It was 2020. You're right.
So they've literally just released a game less than 2 years ago that is a multiplayer under contractual obligation. So, Gaz, what do they have in the works? When are we going to see the next game? Do the math from In Exile. Tell the chat.
In Exile is someone you could actually see at this E3. I think you're making it sound like it's just come out, but is it 2020? You said that is still not that long. That's that's quite a lot. As it contradicted myself, that's quite a decent amount of time between their last
2 years when games take 5 to 6. Come on.
Yeah, but it depends on the scale of their games. What is In Exile working on that we know of? That was it that RPG fantasy
steampunk.
No, it's a steampunk RPG, and they hired I think one of the combat directors from God of War. They've hired.
Is this the one with the female lead in it?
No, it's a different one. That's Compulsion. We'll get to them. They'll get.
I don't know if
it's
a female.
That's Compulsion.
No,
it's a steampunk first-person RPG.
Listen, Wasteland 3. So I haven't played Wasteland 3 yet. I actually have it installed. I'm kind of getting towards it. I'm playing Riftbreaker right now, which is on Game Pass, but I think I'm going to jump into Wasteland 3 since there's nothing else coming out in this world. So when there's time, when I have a little time, because I heard that they make some of the most epic RPGs where you're like, what the hell am I dealing with right now? So I think Jez fell in love with it. Yeah, Jez fell in love with it. You can run into an evil Santa Claus in Wasteland 3. You can run into a bunch of crazy stuff that you're like, man, no other game does this crap. So they're very talented. And Brian Fargo, I've said this before, the leadership at that studio and the leadership that Xbox wants to basically justify their investments is exactly like the teams at In Exile, where they have good people in there. They get games out, just like Obsidian Entertainment. You get games out and you bring them out finished. You understand your scope, what you're going to do. You don't try to overdo it. Valhalla was massive, right? It's just a big ass game. It's you don't need that much
Too
stuff.
Big.
Put it, put the scope down a little bit, get the game out, and people are going to love it. So that's what In Exile does. And then when you actually play it, you're like, wow, it's pretty big in scope when you think about it. So I don't know if we'll see them this year. I think we see them next year. I don't think this year. I think Avowed can be that big RPG that has promise. Starfield can be the next one. And then Redfall, gameplay, all that. I don't think we see In Exile. And if we do see them, hey, I'll happily be wrong. Listen, I never say I'm an insider. I don't know anything. Sure, I hear stuff in the background. Sure, people send me stuff, but I never say anything in my videos about it. And I never say anything unless it's being reported or somebody's talking about it, because I don't like doing that. I talk rumors and stuff here and there when it's gone blown up and people message me about it. But I'm just saying, we'll see.
Yeah, I think to get people an idea what In Exile does, there was a rumor that they were working on the next Fallout game in place of Bethesda. So that is probably not true as far as we know. So I think that In Exile would be basically creating our next Fallout experience in steampunk. So knowing Brian Fargo,
well, what did they weren't they working on remasters too? Like maybe a remaster for the Fallouts?
There's a rumor that In Exile was working on Fallout New Vegas and 3 remasters for Bethesda, according to Scholzy's sources, and some of that has been debunked. I think that might have been debunked. So I will be explaining to people, I think that this I'm sorry, I keep saying Star says Steam. This is so much Starfield talk. This steampunk RPG from In Exile may be like, oh man, we haven't had a Fallout game in a long time, and this is a Fallout game in steampunk genre. So I'm with you guys. I don't think we're going to see this game for a long time. If they just wrapped Wasteland 3 and they just got started that year working on this steampunk RPG, we will not see it in a show for 3 years. Maybe, as Hargeet would tell you, games take 5 years, sometimes 6 now to complete. The next studio is from Compulsion. We'll do this one quickly. Gaz, you just said it. Just tell them what they're working on. They did We Happy Few in 2017. Now they're working on it. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah.
I know it's late.
Is there project code name for this?
Yeah, Project.
Gosh,
dang it.
not
No.
Belfry. It's not Belfry.
This is the fantasy RPG with female lead gothic.
Yes.
What is it?
Yes.
Vampire.
I can't remember
It's
what
the
it
one.
is.
It's the
Project
one with
Midnight.
the. It's the one.
Project
It's
Midnight.
Project Midnight. The one with the harpies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the harpy.
Thank you, One Bad
Gothic
Mother and Dead
lore.
Planet. Thank you so much. I think I got it right when they had hit the send. Project Midnight. Yep.
And that's it.
So-
That's all we know. Project Midnight.
When would
Forget
that
it.
be done? I heard a year ago plus, maybe around the time of Series X, so almost 2 years ago, I heard that they asked Phil for more money to make the scope of the game bigger. And I don't know where this comes from, but I heard they said, nah, because they're a smaller studio. If that's true, I don't know what to expect with.
Well,
from
they
their
moved
RPG
into a
as
new
far as
building.
scope.
They were very upfront about that. They moved into a new building. They've expanded. They've gotten bigger. I think they're at like something 100 and something people, 100 and call it 120, 150. This studio actually kind of reminds me of like Sony Bend from Sony, where
Mhm.
Why?
because Sony Bend was making smaller games. They were a pretty
Okay.
small studio. Then they kind of got some more money, got some more funding, got to about 125 people, I believe. And then they made Days Gone. So like it was a big AAA game. They wanted to do that. That's what Compulsion looks like, a studio that wants to get into that realm of being a AAA studio. That's just me. That's what I think. And then they pitched something and it sounded cool. So go do it.
Yeah.
Or they watch they bring out a side-scrolling game that's like single A. I'm like, what the fuck?
If they started after We Happy Few wrapped, they are in 4 to 5 years of development at this time. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that we'll see Project Midnight, this dark fantasy RPG, at the game showcase, and that it will release. We are hearing from people who have spoken to people that know things. I hate saying that because I don't want to out the conversations I have with my friends, but we're hearing that most of the games, or a lot of the games they want to show at this showcase, are set to release within the calendar year of the showcase. So, and Xbox has done this quite a bit. There was, I think last year or the year before, 2020 was a rare exception where they showed games way out in the future. But typically, for the majority, Xbox likes to show games that are coming out to release in the next 12 months from the showing. So
I think I think they've talked about that. I think Phil kind of said like this E3 showings that we're going to be having should be games that are coming out in the next year and a half, right? But they also want to hint stuff too, right? So they'll have a couple things that are like, 2 years out. And then the game show awards is games that they've brought, like they showed Perfect Dark, Hellblade, a couple games out there in the game show awards that are really far out there. So I think they're kind of waiting, but 2020 was when they were like, this is what's coming in 17 years. But other than that, and of course, 2020, nobody knew what was going to happen. It was beginning of the pandemic. So I give them a little bit of an exception on that. Not to mention, I don't think they had anything in 2020. Then they bought Bethesda and everybody was like, holy shit. And then, now it's Activision. Yep. So we'll see. The Bethesda thing needs to start that return on investment needs to come sooner than later. And I think that needs to happen a lot sooner than people think, because you're putting a lot of money, like $7 billion plus taking all the salaries. Like that's not, you're taking the salaries on top of that, people, and the production costs and the studios and all that stuff. So you need to see some return on investment. Microsoft just doesn't throw money just to throw money away. That's not how you become a multi-trillion-dollar company.
Yeah. And I think, I think that leadership is riding it out right now. They knew that when they announced this delay, I should grab this super, which I kind of goes along with that. But they knew when they were going to do this delay that they need to get this announcement out and get people to vent so that they could move on, because they have a lot to talk about and a lot to surprise for the end of for the show. Garuda Intruda says with the Australian 5, thank you so much. Garuda says the Starfield delay is not just about Starfield, it's delay of a new era for Xbox. Is this 2022 or 2017? The June showcase simply must be perfect. Gaz, talk about Playground, what they've been doing. They've got 2 teams. Where are they? Let me shoehorn this in, because not a lot of people talked about this. Just before the show went live, somebody announced that they had been hired on as a environmental artist for Fable. And in the job posting, Gaz, it said, you'll be joining on an early development of a AAA project.
Yeah. I mean, I can't.
So what's going on with Playground?
I don't know why so we're hearing that Fable was actually really far away, and apparently the scope has been reduced for the game. Like, I would have to say that. Okay. I don't know if that's fine. I'm the worst person for this. I don't care about
You can make up stuff.
Yeah. I'll make it up. Yeah, apparently. Maybe the score scale down or something. I don't know. But I thought Fable would be I have so much faith in Playground Games, man. They've got an amazing track record. If anything, I would have thought they would have showed some gameplay, even if it's far away. I don't think they're precluded from showing us something, even like a flyover off a map, or show how big the map is. That would be huge for me. That'd be like, yo, how big is the map? If you ever the first Fable, Peter Molyneux dropped the ball with it, but it was such a great game. But the scope of what it was aiming for at the time, there were some screens of the main character, and there's a backdrop, and there's just a forest, big forest, and the mind went racing about, wow, RPG like that visual fidelity at the time would have been amazing. And back then you said if you cut a tree, you wouldn't grow. I mean, you were a kid, and all that stuff got scaled away. It was a complete Peter Molyneux dropped the ball. But Playground Games can bring that back. So I think they may show gameplay at the Bethesda Showcase event. I don't see,
or show some in-engine stuff of Fable at least, for good faith.
I think at least in-engine stuff, even if it's far away. I think the main pressure about this. Okay, fine. If 2022 is a fat L and there's a loss, and you can't just churn out games and rush them out, then the one thing that could actually help Xbox, or in terms of the optics and goodwill for core gamers, things that I would maybe be, all right, that's exciting, is you show a lot of gameplay for a lot of first-party exclusives. And with a flyover of a Fable, along with Avowed, along with a combat, trailer for Hellblade, and all of that, even maybe Perfect Dark, although that's not doing that well.
Yeah.
Even if you did that, though, and you accept that 2022 is an unacceptable L, but it's fine, I would think, okay, mate, that's enough. It depends on how much gameplay they show. It's still not good enough. Reserve my comments. But I think as far as the showcase, if I was Sarah Bond and Phil, they need to feel the pressure. All right, just open the floodgates. Guys, what are you working on? Let's just show them the gameplay.
Can I just say, hold on, time out. So when that job description came out, how long ago was that about the new AAA? Because if they're saying
last month,
it was early.
If it was last month, it's the next Forza game, because the other one just came out. So it's AAA game for Forza, the next Forza.
No,
that's what they're going to.
She said she was going to work on the Fable team, but then another person pointed out that the job description was the same job description from 2018. Like they didn't even update the wordage.
Exactly. So 2018 is like, when did Forza Horizon come out? 4.
Then 2018.
There you go. And then they had somebody come in to help with Forza 5.
Yeah, and as far as we know, Fable has
Just
been
saying,
in
man, just
production
saying.
or development since 2018. So they're on year 4, and it sounds
Year
like they may
4.
need 1 to 2 more years. So 2024, 2025 could be the latest. I'm going to go through a couple of these studios and not gloss over or go over them very in detail because we have to get to the bigger ones. But World's Edge is going to bring out Age of Empires on consoles. ZeniMax Online is going to continue working on Elder Scrolls Online and maybe another IP that I won't even dig into. Tango Gameworks just put out Ghostwire Tokyo for PlayStation, which didn't do too hotly. Like it's a 70-something in the ratings and Metacritic, blah, blah, blah. But
It's a weird looking game.
Not a big banger. What's that?
Well,
It was a weird looking game, but I mean,
yeah.
I thought like it looked cool. I was like, I'll check it out when it comes to Game
It was
Pass.
out of their wheelhouse. It was kind of out of their wheelhouse. They kind of did. It was still rooted in horror.
No, I
like
thought
you
it
said
was.
the
I
other
thought
day.
it was really rooted in horror. I thought like that's exactly what they do, and they kind of went out of their way for a little bit of a different game. But I've always looked at them as kind of like a chill studio that kind of like I think they brought the Evil Within, and the Evil Within 2 was that them?
Yeah.
Am I tripping?
Yeah,
so
that's them. So it was out of their
like,
wheelhouse.
a little bit out of the wheelhouse, but we'll
So-
see what they do next. I mean, they're
Bethesda has a couple of smaller studios that are working on things that we don't know yet. They won't hear about. So I don't think we'll see them at the event. And Mojang is not finishing Minecraft in 4K and I don't know what the heck's going on. But Global Publishing has a couple of games. Project Dragon, which is a 4-player RPG over-the-shoulder co-op game that looks really cool. And then there's the Project Belfry, which is a 4X strategy game. Right, Zucker?
Which one?
I think so.
Project
Project Belfry. Yeah.
It's either the 4-time strategy game that's been rumored or that side-scrolling game.
Alexa, stop.
Alexa's like,
Oh.
Xbox has no games. How about that?
She was. Alexa, stop. Oh my gosh. She's like, Colt Eastwood, what are you doing? Xbox has no games. Stop talking. You're making an embarrassment out of yourself. No, I'm just joking. Global
Project
Publishing's got a
Luna.
couple of games that we might see at the event. Let's talk about Machine Games because they have two things. They are doing such a good job keeping the secret.
Yeah.
Gaz, what's Machine Games working on? There's two big things.
Wolfenstein. That's gotta be there. That's gotta be something. I mean, they've been there very quiet. So I'm definitely looking for Wolfenstein. What's the other thing?
Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, of course.
Indiana Jones, yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
mean, what the
and
hell's
that
the
might
other
actually
thing?
get-
The big one they announced.
Yeah,
God
oh,
damn
God.
it,
I
Gaz.
even made a
I
video
knew it.
about it. That's so stupid.
I know,
But-
dude. Get more coffee. You need it.
It's 3 a.m. Okay, I'm allowed to. Yeah.
okay.
Okay,
but
so
Indiana Jones gameplay. I think it'll come.
I'm going to
guys.
say
It's happening.
It's
This-
very probable that one or
Shut up.
both of those could be shown at the event. I don't know if they show.
How long
just
is this
another-
event? How long is this? Like we're saying all
90
these games are
minutes,
coming out like
roughly.
90 minutes my ass. All the stuff that we're talking about, Starfield gameplay, Redfall gameplay,
Dude,
this gameplay, Contraband, IO Interactive's little thing that everybody's talking about that's been talking about
I
for a
didn't even
year.
talk about
all this other
Contraband,
stuff,
dang it.
like all this other stuff, like Avowed, blah, 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 like all this stuff. Like, how long is this thing going to be? Like 65
Well,
hours?
We're
Are they
not
gonna
saying
pull us
all
push
of them are
stream?
going to be shown. We just
Zucker, Xbox
We're
is
saying
gonna-
a lot of them are. We're saying
there's going to be a
of
lot
them
of
are.
padding as
Hey,
well. There's going to be padding.
Xbox
party
has
padding.
1 or 2 games they can show at Summer Games Fest that they've decided. Like maybe it's Contraband, or maybe they show Hellblade at the Summer Games Fest, like you were talking about earlier. Instead of saving it for E3, they give it to Jeff Keighley again. I don't know. This is all mostly, how would you say, just everything that we've said here is mostly educated predictions and just the little things we hear that the media sites report on. Most of the stuff that we talk about has been reported or guessed upon media sites. Some of the stuff that I talked about earlier, like some of the stuff with Coalition, I had in a video over 2 years ago and it got debunked. Like some stuff just doesn't happen. And like the stuff about Fable, it's all like, who even knows, right? There's really nothing to go off of.
If there was one game that everybody knew was happening and they never wanted to, Fable was like the worst kept secret for like 2 years.
Sure.
Everybody knew
Yeah.
they were doing it. Everybody knew they were doing it. And then finally they were like, it's coming. And everybody was like, we know, bitch. We saw it coming. Give us something.
Okay, we know Arcane is trying to deliver Redfall. We have 2 left. Zocker, What is id doing? There's two possibilities. Everyone's
I've always
salivating
thought
over
they were
either.
working
Don't you
on.
You
even
can jump in as well,
talk
guys.
dirty to me right now.
I thought id was working on. There was a lot of people talking about. I mean, Ryan McCaffrey talked about this. If this is what they're working on, was the Quake game, or a new Dame game. But if they're working on Quake, like I've said this multiple times, Quake's lore is insane. It's like dragons, hammers, freaking crazy shit going on. It's sorry I keep cussing, Colt. It's just what it is.
Sick, man. This is a family show. Phil Spencer's kids watch this.
Like, I don't know, but I've heard about the Quake thing for a long time. From it's on forums, it's everywhere. People are like, I think that's what they're working on. So we'll see what's going on. And I heard, I believe, like, if you guys know, like Wolfenstein 2 actually uses a lot of id tech. So those two developers work together a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if they're co-developing some stuff together, right? Like they'll be working together. Like they helped with Wolfenstein, they helped with Doom, stuff like that. Like they go back and forth with each other. Yeah, they help each other out. So I wouldn't be surprised if something like that goes on. I can't wait. If they can do what they did to Doom with Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, which Doom Eternal is one of the best games to come out last generation by far. Yeah. Everybody needs to play that game. I'm actually going through the DLC, the ancient one, the first one right now.
I've almost
and everybody was like, everybody's saying how hard it is, and I was like,
you suck.
And I was like,
gameplay on PC. It's sick.
Bro, I'm dominating. Well,
Gaz, what else could id be working on if they're not working on a Doom? What's on your dream list that we've been hearing things people have been dreaming and
Quake
wishing?
3 Arena is what made me the man that I am. I skipped school for Quake 3 Arena, and I think it's time an arena shooter comes back. And there's a way they can modernize it, bring back.
Didn't they try that though in 2016? They tried to do
that was Arena. Crap. They tried to
what was that
bring
called?
In the Quake Championship. They literally try and Overwatch it, but it didn't fit. The hero model didn't fit Quake. Man, it's still a decent arena shooter. Actually, I played it quite a bit, but ultimately, the Quake is hardcore. And fine. This is where the question, how many people are actually going to play it? But I think the core arena shooter, hardcore gamers will definitely gravitate towards Quake if it's done well. And I think they can modernize it and make it really interesting when they have melded in mechanics like clamber and traversal, like wall running. Like that's in itself a meta skill. Like why I like Apex Legends is all those little traversal skills, the bunny hopping and stuff. That's not actually officially part of the game, but the movement meta. So if they announce Quake and they show us gameplay, I'm a fickle man. I will be forgiven. I'll be like, assuming it looks nice, I'll be like, yo, you don't understand. To hell with Halo. It's dead.
It's
Quake
far away.
Is the new master.
It's far away. I'm gonna say it's
probably far away, but they show us
how far away.
Like if you look at the DLCs for Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal came out. It's a 20-hour campaign. The DLCs are about 5 to 6 hours each, so that's another 12 hours. I'm just saying, man, they're pretty far out there. And if they're reimagining or remaking or reboot, whatever the hell it's called for Quake, that's been rumored for a while, it's going to take some time for them to do that. And you can take all the time you need. I don't care if they're like, it's coming out tomorrow, delayed 5 years. I'm like, that's fine.
Those games come out pristine. They come out pristine. You do not whine about glitches and bugs and broken this. Like
they have ray tracing at freaking 4K, 175,000 frames per second. They don't
give them Halo. Give them Halo. id Software, give them Halo. I'll be excited.
Phil already said that. I can imagine the collaboration with id Tech and our other teams. Like
I said that to Aaron Greenberg.
Do that.
Do you remember when they bought Bethesda? Aaron Greenberg came on RDX, and I literally asked him, I was like, "How excited are you for other teams in your first party to work with something like an id Tech?" And he was just like, "Oh." And actually eventually he goes, "Yeah, that's a big thing that we want to do is bring a lot of technologies and cross them over." And he kept talking, and I was like, "Thanks, Aaron Greenberg, for the best PR speak ever." But I know what you're thinking. We all know what you're thinking. Get it on everything. That's a shooter because that shit's higher. I'm sorry, I'm cussing again, Colt. It's getting late. You know what it is.
I don't care.
Sometimes
I don't care anymore. You're broken. This is not a family show anymore. He put us two in here. What was going to happen? I'm sorry, Phil Spencer. No, I'm not. But yeah, no.
Shout
seriously.
out to over 1,000 people who are checking out the XLC podcast. We're live on YouTube. I'm Colteastwood. I'm here with Gaz from Game On Daily, my co-host, and our special guest, Zocker87 of YouTube fame and RDX panel member, and a great friend. Thank you so much for being here. Hit the like button. You're having a good time. We have one more studio to talk about. Bethesda is busy trying to bring out Starfield. They've given themselves another, what would it be? Another 6 months. But I think we all kind of an idea, at least I do. Let's talk about when Starfield will actually release. Gaz, hit us with the sauce. What's the
September
truth?
2023, or maybe even November 2023. The later the better. The later the better, because the damage is done. I want Starfield to be epic. I think that will be November and Redfall before it, like summer, or maybe early, like first quarter of next year for Redfall. Maybe first half. But I would say push Starfield to the even November, December time. That game needs to be right. You have time with Redfall and then do it. Yeah. That's my thing.
Okay. I like that. I'll co-sign that, bro.
Yeah.
What about you, Soccer? What do you think? When do you think Starfield's actually? They said mid 2023, but what's the truth? Dig into it.
I think that 2023 Starfield. So the one thing that we're looking at is all the gaming industry. They're locking down dates right now. Like Dead Space is in January, Fallen Order's coming out early, whatever the hell it is next year. A lot of people are Suicide Squad's coming out. Xbox has Avowed, Redfall, Starfield, a bunch of other games. We're forgetting about other studios that Xbox is going to be hopefully getting, like Blizzard and Activision with Call of Duty stuff or whatever they're working on. Blizzard has Diablo 4 coming, Overwatch 2 that they're talking about, all this stuff, plus WoW expansions, WoW Classic expansion. Like, that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of dates. So I'm thinking Starfield, if anything, they'll try to bring it out February, March is what I would think.
Really?
I think February, because if you look at all the big AAA games, like look at Elden Ring, came out in March and it fucking dominated. And it freaking dominated. I'm so sorry. And it freaking dominated. Like, I'm just saying, 13 million units sold in 1 month. Like, I'm just
Zucker. I'm going to set your head on fire. What if God of War Ragnarok gets pushed to February or March, and Starfield comes out that same time and eclipses it? Like Elden Ring did Horizon Forbidden West. Is that possible? Do you think Starfield could be such a new experience and not another God of War?
So like, I think Redfall. I think Redfall. Hopefully, I hope it's February. So I would think Starfield. I think Starfield could be March or April. But you really
think Starfield and Redfall could be early on in the year when Gaz and I are thinking, why not push it later?
Starfield later.
I mean, Starfield could come later. I wholeheartedly understand that.
Let's pull the chat.
But they have other stuff coming out, man. All right, so I'll be real. In 2023, if Xbox doesn't have 4 to 5 big AAA games, first party games come out, I'm going to be pissed off because they got 0 this year. I want 4 to 5 next year. That's just me. That's just me. So I expect release dates to come out sooner. Sorry, it's getting darker because I'm going to turn into a werewolf soon. But it's getting dark over here. It's getting late. But and I don't have lights like these fancy son of a guns do.
I'm gonna send you a light, Soccer, that I really like. I have one over here that's really nice, and yeah, it's good. It's nice. You'll be able to use it if you go on people's shows.
I'm using my OLED right now to power me. I'm an OLED lord. What do you know?
Yeah. Interesting. I'm pulling the chat right now if they think I was going to do more than 3 options, but basically put it down to, and you guys can also vote. If you think Starfield release, for those of you who are listening to XNC on Spotify, Google, Pocket Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts, I just put up a poll, and I'll try to remember to put this poll in Anchor so you could get it from there if you'd like, if you're only listening on demand. But I'm asking the chat if they think Starfield will release in the spring, in the summer, or in the fall. And right now it is very, very even.
4 games.
30 to 30, 38 to 32 to 30% across the board. Everyone is, what's that?
Spring, a lot
4
of
games. They said it. Close. We talked about this 3 years ago when I first started doing YouTube. One of the objectives for Xbox was to
4
bring
games per year?
4 AAA games. So 1 every quarter. So that means January, February, March, that's Redfall. April, May, June, Starfield. And then in the summer something, and then Avowed later, and then something else later. Like I'm saying, like they need 4 to 5 big games. If they want to see Game Pass actually grow next year, you need to keep people freaking subscribed, and that means games coming out. So we're gonna come
out of this desert of 2022 like, where's the games? And then 22 is gonna be like, 2023 is
We
going
said
to be
that
like
last year, but yeah, it's
well.
Anybody
I
ever
talked to
see
Rand.
anybody ever see the movie Rat Race where Cuba Gooding Jr. comes out of the desert and then he gets to the water and he's like, that's going to be us in 2023. We're just going to be like drinking.
Rand
water.
and I were
5
talking
years.
last year because we didn't know Starfield was going to push for 2022, and we're like, 2022 doesn't have anything. We thought all the big games were going to be 2023, so we already kind of thought that 2022 was bad, really bad. And then they said Redfall summer, Starfield November. We're like, whoa, that's really good. And then Stalker got a release date. We're like, oh, okay, 2022 is fire. And then Donataku sends a $5 super. Thank you. This one goes out to Gaz. He says, why would anyone give Halo to id when the multiplayer in the new games were not any good?
What? Oh, you're talking about id Software's multiplayer.
Yeah, why
the
would
one
id
that's
take on
massive
Halo and-
focal point, the asymmetric kind of multiplayer doesn't work. But I tell you why they give it to id, because id are competent in delivering a game with technical proficiency and an engine that scales amazingly well to deliver an incredible campaign. Well, come on, man, that's scaled across multiple systems. That looks more next gen than your flagship. What the out of here? It's software all day, every day.
Hey, Gaz, can you tell me the main character's name in Doom, and then give me characters or give me any story beats that you remember?
Yes.
Shut your mouth,
actually read.
Gaz.
I did. I read the little the stories was mad. Okay, do you want a story time? Want a story time of the Doom guy? And
Gaz, I'm just saying, I would rather them put it on id, put Halo on id, give it to 343, because just put it on the id tech. That's what I'm saying. Working collaboration like Machine Games is.
Okay.
That's
clearly the engine is the big problem. Look, I wail on 343, but they did the hard bits well. They delivered. Look, 343, the gameplay in these games is amazing. Like, how do you get the gameplay right? But
this is
mess
why
up on
I consider
and
Halo
story
Infinite's
on
campaign.
Content.
Halo Infinite's campaign is one of the best I've ever played because number one, the gameplay.
Same.
Gameplay is number 1, 2, and 3 in my priorities in my games.
And
the
they
gameplay
look so
sucks. I don't want to play it.
They look so good. Like Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal are like the best looking first-person shooters. Wolfenstein looks amazing too. It's got to be because of id Tech, Zocker. Let me grab this super. Donataku, thank you for another 5. Thank you, Donataku. He says 2023 is Hellblade 2, Redfall, Avowed, Starfield, Contraband. And I think he's missing some, but yeah, we're getting tired of waiting for sure. I am. Yeah, that's it. Bethesda's going to do that. Guys, thank you so much. This is the XSC podcast. We had over 1,000 people who are watching, 1,100 at the top. Thank you so much. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the show. Now we're going to wrap up. It's super late in the UK for my main man, Gasimus, Maximus, Aurelius, Sosimus. But
awesome.
Thank you so much for being here. Zocker, you did an amazing job. I had so much fun. Super chats are crazy. The chat, every time you see me looking down here, I'm reading the chat because you guys make such a big contribution to the show and the entertainment and keep everything moving. Let's see. We got yes, I just got that one. My producer's like, make sure you get everything Colteastwood. Make sure you get it all. Gaz, tell the audience what you've been playing besides, because I know you've been playing a couple of quirky, fun games. What you've been playing besides Apex Legends? What you
he is not playing Apex Legends.
I'm almost. They changed the ranks. I played more than you the new season. I'm waiting for you. I'm silver now. They reset the ranks back. We were plat, and then boom. It's fun. It's fun. Are you all right? We need to team up. Me and Zorka play because we're sick. Zorka's good at the game. Me and him.
I'm good at every game, fool. Don't be coming at me.
Yeah, he's good. I've been playing Crash Bandicoot as well, which Crash 4. This is really nice, and I've been hopping through multiple games.
Yep. There's an Activision game you've been playing that you've been freaking loving, and we've been having a good laugh at it.
Look, Prototype 2 is amazing. They should bring it back. They should bring back Prototype 3 when it's so good. It's so good.
I played like a dozen hours of it when Activision was brought into Xbox or when they did that thing. But that game needs to be enhanced big time. But you're loving Prototype, Gaz. Is this your first time experiencing it?
Huh?
Was this your first time playing it, or are you just
first time? And I almost completed in almost 2 sittings because I was just hooked on that. It's just the game. I've never played a game that makes you so overpowered right at the start, and then gives you more powers and more powers. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Now they don't stand a chance. They never stood a chance. But I'm still having fun. It's like
you do not get games. You do not get sandbox city games like that anymore. And that was the heyday of the 360 PS3 eras, the sandbox games. And Prototype was like, hey, you know, these games you normally run around and do your thing in the city. Now you're like this crazy, evil, Incredible Hulk. So awesome.
And makes me think when I play that, it's like Xbox. Some people are like, Xbox doesn't need a superhero game. I disagree. I'm not even a massive comic book guy, but I think they need a superhero game massively. And when I played Prototype, I'm like, this is the sequel.
You didn't have to say you're not a comic book guy. We already know you like the Batman and Dune, so you could just. That's all we needed to know.
Batman was a good movie, and Dune just shut the. No, anyway, it just triggers me so hard when he comes off the Dune.
Guess what's next for the fine people of the Sauceverse?
Okay, sorry.
What are you working on?
So, ladies and gentlemen, I know I copped a lot of hate for my critique of Xbox. I don't care. The next Source video is going to be about that. It's going to be tracking, when I have time, the civil war that brewed this time. Hey, man, the Source has to come after everyone. It's going to be messy for Xbox fans. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be funny. It's comedy. So, yeah, please check out Game On Daily, one word. That's the YouTube channel. Check out GameOnDaily.com. Please use the bloody website. We need you. And we'll be soon. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Cole. I love this. Zolka, or maybe he's another co-host. This is a sick time. Felt like it was just
I think Zucker would just fall over dead doing 2 shows 2 nights in a row. But Danta with a $10 says, hopefully Xbox can use the Starfield and Redfall delays to space out their lineup even more and have games stacking up like Nintendo does. And they can drop them whenever something slips. There is sort of people are asking for management. Like maybe they're going to Rand was saying maybe they're going to hold Avowed, knowing that they just moved stuff to 2023. Maybe Avowed is ready and they push it to 2024 because they're going to be so stacked. I think we're going to find out in a couple weeks, Don Otaku, that here's the influx of all those games. Like the sieve is broken, the levee's broken. I don't know. Zocker87, tell people where they can find you, what you've got planned for your channel, what you're planning on covering as we get into this crazy showcase coming up soon.
Changing my channel. I'm going to be.
What have you been playing first? Before I forgot to ask what you've been playing, Zach.
Changing your channel. Wait, you just interrupted him when he was saying something.
I'm changing my channel. I'm going to cover the Johnny Depp Amber Heard stuff. I can't wait to talk about poop in beds. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. He literally was like, "Wait, what are you doing, man? What's going on?" No. I've been playing. Actually, I've been playing the crap ton again. I've been playing Apex Legends, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I beat Trek to Yomi in one sitting. The game was all right.
Dang.
So I've been playing just everything, man. Like a lot of strategy games also, like Warcraft 3, Reforged, StarCraft. Been going through the campaigns on those. Warhammer 40K, what's it called? Battle Sector. And Riftbreaker on PC for Game Pass. I don't know, man. I just like games. And I've been playing a crap ton of Apex Legends. Gaz never wants to play with me. We say we're going to rank up together, but I think he got intimidated because he doesn't know how good. He's just not that good. And I've been carrying him in pretty much every single one. Every single one. And he just like, he probably averages at least 13 damage.
Everything he says is
a game. So it's cute though. I play with him, It's kind of like helping somebody down while they're down. But the new season's really fun. And so we're having fun with that. And we're playing with a couple of my buddies and just ranking up and having a good time, and Rocket League, of course. Outside of that, just, guys, pay attention to the channel. I'm going to be dropping stuff, E3 and all those shows are just around the corner. I can't wait to talk about everything that's coming up. I just brought out a video right now talking about, Jez Corden. He had a little thing talking about like what he thinks could be there, just speculation. So I went into that. I went into what he thought, and I went into everything that I thought might be there. I'll probably do another one of those as we get closer. And I kind of want to talk about the Keeley show because he's gonna have some stuff on there that I think people need to like kind of pay attention to. So I'll be doing that. And Gaz and Colt, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming here. And after seeing all those super chats, I'm going to be starting my own live chat. We're going to call it Zolker's Corner. And we're going to be just sitting there, and I'm just going to ask for super chats because you know what? I'm going to be greedy.
Zolker's Corner. Zolker's Corner, and you have a bib on, and you're just eating noodles.
I'm going to have a little cup, like tips, please. Like throw them in there.
We got another one from Doug with the $5. Says, hope everything that's happened this year, Xbox reconsiders its stance on third-party exclusives. So when things are slow, they got backups. Yes, they need to buy stuff. Thank you guys so much for checking out the show. This is the XNC Podcast. If you've listened on demand on Spotify, Google Pocket Podcasts,
Toddler's Corner. Boba Fett gave me toddler.
How dare you step on my promo? I love you. You're amazing. Now, but thanks for checking out the show on demand. That's on audio only, and you can also check it out on demand here on YouTube. On the channel, there's an Excellency Podcast playlist if you want to check out the show. Thank you so much to Gaz for being an excellent co-host, and Zocker for being an amazing guest, and the chat for being a part of the show. We're going to get out of here and relax, let Gaz get to sleep. It's at past 3 in the morning in the UK. Thank you so much for everything you've done. We're going to hit the outro and call it a night. You guys have been amazing. We'll see you next week, and hopefully nothing else gets delayed in the meantime.
What's up?
Later, everybody.
Later. I think we're still on.